All right. Welcome to the program, everyone. I'm Brian, always here with you live at 6 a.m., a few minutes after 6. Welcome to the program. There is a lot to talk about, of course, and the main thing we have to talk about certainly is this incredibly unjust conviction. You know, a real question right now is this: is Donald Trump really a convicted felon now, right? This jury came in guilty on all 34 counts. Is there any question in anyone's mind that that verdict was anything other than unjust? We know the judge is corrupt. This is something we've known for a while, right? But isn't the jury also corrupt? We have followed that case. When I say we, I'm not using the royal we like some arrogant person. I'm talking about, when I say we, I'm talking about all of you out there. We've all followed this case. All of the witnesses backed up that Trump had done nothing wrong. In fact, the jury had asked to review the testimony from the National Enquirer guy, and he said Michael Cohen did this all completely on his own, that Donald Trump had no knowledge of it. The judge, even in his very bizarre jury instructions, told the jury that they could not convict based on Michael Cohen's testimony. So with all that being the case, how did they come back with 34 guilty verdicts against Donald Trump? It's pretty simple. Not only did you have a corrupt judge, we got a corrupt prosecutor, but this is a corrupt jury. In fact, I would argue that this jury had made up their mind that Donald Trump was guilty before they were even on the jury. There is no way that a reasonable person could look at that case and follow the testimony and come to the conclusion that Donald Trump is guilty of anything, not to mention 34 things. So the question is he really a convicted felon? Is that court legitimate? And I would say, no, he is not a convicted felon, and the court is a corrupt, illegitimate court. You know, you're going to hear a lot of people talking about political prisoners, and that's true. Donald Trump is a political prisoner. Is there any doubt in anyone's mind that all these things are happening to Donald Trump, all these obscene court cases around the country, even that property case with Judge Engoron with Letitia James, that it's all because the political establishment that are running this country are misusing their offices to persecute him? Of course. You know, this morning I was reading a little bit of Martin Luther King's letter from the Birmingham jail. Have any of you read this book? They used to require it, like in the 8th grade. You used to have to read all this stuff. Now I don't think they require any of these things. But Martin Luther King, who was arrested at 30-some times and put in jail. Do you know what those who were arrested, and when he got arrested, he went before judges and stuff. Do you know what the jailers of Martin Luther King have in common with that judge yesterday, that prosecutor, and that jury? Do you know what they have in common? Martin Luther King arrested and put in jail about 30 times. I can't remember the exact number off the top of my head, but it was at least 30. You know what they have in common? Those who arrested and put Martin Luther King in jail, what they have in common with these persecutors of President Trump is they're all Democrats. All Democrats. Democrats have a history of misusing law enforcement and the courts to oppress their political opposition. And, you know, Martin Luther King when they put him in the Birmingham jail, those Democrats, that's when he wrote the letter from the Birmingham jail, which used to be, as I say, used to be required reading. It's a book. You can get the book. And I had to study this in school. And there's a famous quote from Martin Luther King's letter from the Birmingham jail. And by the way, everyone should read this book. It's a very important book. One of the most important American books ever written. And Martin Luther King in that book said, injustice, now I might get this off by a word or two, but you know. Martin Luther King said, injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. Injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. You know, Rosa Parks was arrested and booked by Democrats, right? You know, and many, many times, and we talked about this a lot during the history of the Civil Rights Movement, because that's when we had political prisoners in the United States during the Civil Rights Movement, many of them. You know, many civil rights activists were arrested and put in jail. There were a lot of girls got arrested, black girls, because they thought it would be easier on them. They'd be easier on them than the boys. And there were a lot of girls, college girls, who got arrested just like Rosa Parks. They just didn't get the publicity before Rosa Parks. They were arrested by Democrats. Political persecution. Political prisoners. You know, even if Trump was guilty of what they've accused him of, and he's not, but even if he was guilty of it, should that even have been a felony? Of course not. Everyone in this country knows, including these foaming at the mouth, perverted Democrats, that Trump did nothing wrong, that each and every one of these cases is political persecution. No doubt about it. And I got to tell you, the appeals process, you know, this is insane. This is insane. There's a sentencing coming up, 4 days before the Republican convention, and I have no doubt in my mind that this corrupt judge, whose daughter has taken tens of millions of dollars from Democrats on the promise of putting Trump in prison, in jail, her dad is going to do it. Now, what does that mean? You know, when this corrupt judge next month, 4 days before the Republican convention, when he sentences Donald Trump to jail, and this could be a long 20-year sentence, which is like a life sentence, what does that mean? Does that mean he'll be under house arrest at Mar-a-Lago, at Trump Tower? What does that mean? We don't know. Does it mean he'll actually go to a jail? You know, this is something we shouldn't even be dealing with in this country. And I said this years ago, and a lot of people in this audience got very upset with me about it, but that's okay. Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton are criminals. You know, you're here for that? Oh, my goodness. You want to take our break and we'll get everything fixed? All right, listen, we're going to take our break. We'll take it a little early, and then we'll get back and we'll get on track. Now, I want to say Fridays is always open phones on the program, okay? We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. Fridays is open phones, which means you are welcome to call in about anything and everything on your mind on Friday's show, okay? And that will apply to today, but we had some major news yesterday, and I'm hoping that your calls and conversations will involve all of that. All right, are we okay? We'll take our break. I'm Brian. Our number 1-888-465-2631, and we'll be right back. Oh no, he's not in there. I thought he might be in. Oh, you got to hit the spots. You can't do it. Okay, we can't do it. Okay, well I'll vamp. I'll vamp so we don't have dead air. Okay, we got some technical issues that we're going to work out. Every once in a while, we have to prove to you that we are live. Now, before we take the break and get everything going on. There's another thing I want to tell you guys. A lot of people are very upset. I'm upset about these verdicts yesterday. What's very important, because there's some of these issues come up from time to time, that upset people. What's more important than anything is to stay cool. I don't want to hear any stupid talk. I don't want to hear any stupid attitudes. And I'll tell you one thing I'm really not going to be very patient with today with some of the liberals in the audience. Now Democrats are always welcome to call, but the gloating, I'm going to have a very low tolerance for gloating today. And, this is a very serious thing. The idea of arresting your political opponents, what I was about to get to a minute ago was this. In 2015, when everyone was saying lock her up to Hillary Clinton, Bill and Hillary Clinton have done a lot of crimes. Hillary Clinton, when she was Secretary of State, signed off on giving 20% of the U.S. uranium deposits to Russia. And they did this through a third-party company in Canada and all these different things. But right now, with this war in Ukraine going on against Russia, there's a lot of talk of nuclear weapons, all this stuff going on. Do you understand that the nuclear weapons that Putin has are armed with American uranium that Hillary Clinton I shouldn't say gave to Putin, they sold it to Putin. This is just one of the crimes that Hillary Clinton committed. When Bill Clinton was first president, this what I'm about to tell you, this is all true stuff. This is not speculation. Bill Clinton gave the Chinese, in exchange for a lot of money, navigation systems for missiles. And not long after Bill Clinton was president, the Chinese started sending astronauts up into space. And they were able to do that with missile-guided technology that Bill Clinton sold them. There was a guy, some of you will remember this, it's been so long, but there was a guy named Charlie Tree. He was a Chinese national. He walked into one of Bill Clinton's campaign offices with manila envelopes filled with cash and bought these things, all right? These things are facts. And those are just a couple of things off the top of my head. And when everyone was chanting, lock her up, and all this stuff, I said, no, you don't want to do that. If you get to a point in this country where you start arresting first ladies and presidents and charging them with crimes and everything that goes along with that, you're gonna take the country into a very dangerous situation and in a place where we don't want to be. And a lot of people in the audience were very upset at me with that, but that's okay. You guys can get upset. But I think I've been proven right. It's a very bad thing to do, and now we're seeing it. And one of the big problems with this is that in the American system of justice, most of the laws are not through legislation and statutes on the books. Most of the things that are prosecuted and most of the law in this country is done on legal precedent. You hear case law, it's called, and you'll hear people cite cases. Right now, a legal precedent, if this is allowed to stand, will have been made that popular political candidates and political leaders that those in power do not like can be arrested and charged and jailed. And that's not the way that you want the country to move in, I'm here to tell you. And we're there now. And I know Democrats, liberals, in their stupidity and their Trump derangement syndrome intoxified state are high-fiving each other right now and celebrating, but that's just really short-sighted and stupid thinking, because you're in charge now, but Republicans are going to be in charge soon. Right? You're only in charge right now. And I promise you, there are Republicans that aren't as nice as me, okay, who will start arresting their political opponents, just like you're doing with Trump. And it starts a cycle. It starts an endless cycle. And at that point, we have lost our country. We're all ready to go? Not yet? Okay. The United States is the oldest democracy in the world, okay? If you're on hold, stand by. We're working on some technical issues, and we'll get to the phones and get everything back on track when we get all those worked out. We have senior management here at the radio station early in the morning working on everything. this is the oldest democracy in the world, and the United States has been the role model for freedom around the world for over 200 years. How can we say that now? Right now, they tell us that we are supporting Ukraine against Russia because we're supporting freedom, we're supporting democracy. Well, right here in this country, think about this now. Think about what's going on. Right now in this country, the leader of the country, which is Joe Biden and all the minions around him, have multiple times arrested the leader of the political opposition, Donald Trump. They've got a mugshot of him. They've convicted him of 34 felonies that he did not commit. Right? 4 days before the Republican convention next month, they're going to sentence him, and this judge is going to sentence him to some type of incarceration. Make no mistake about it. Okay? And Trump did nothing wrong. But we're supporting freedom in Ukraine. In Ukraine, Zelensky, about 2 weeks ago, finished his term, and there was no election. Zelensky is in power beyond his term right now. Think about that. He is in power beyond his term, and he has suspended elections and is running on under martial law and says there will be no election until the war is over and all Ukrainians can vote. Well, Russia's never giving back those occupied territories in eastern Ukraine. They're never giving back Crimea. So Zelensky has set up a standard that will never be achieved to ever have another election in Ukraine. So how are we supporting freedom? How are we supporting democracy with a police state now governing Ukraine that we're supporting? And this country, we are now in a police state. Now, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll take our break. I'm Brian. We'll be right back.
When it comes to dental work, there's no one better than Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. But don't just take my word for it. This is Richie the bus driver. He called in on the air to share his experience.
All right.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, we had some technical. I'm going to move the camera, guys. Hold on. Bear with me. All right. There we go. All right, so we're good to go. And here, is that off?
Yes. Can you turn it off?
I can live without that. But
You're recording.
well, usually they record the show for the podcast, but if you can't get on, that's not most important, you know. But we'll have to have it for Monday, but we can get by without that today. Yeah. But I can't, without that, I can't see when the phones are ringing. So I can see, but there's a glare. It's hard for me to see the phone. So if you could just, don't answer the phones, but just put, like when people call, just put them on hold like that. I'll do it if I see it, but it's hard for me to see the phones ringing without that.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Mike, a regular board op, he was in a car accident yesterday. He's okay. But he's in some pain, and his car, I don't know how trashed his car is, but he said his car was pretty messed up, and he's not here today. So we have a fill-in, and we just had some technical issues.
First of all, he does make a great product, great pillows. I actually use them, believe it or not. He's been a supporter from day one.
Yeah.
My pillow guy, and he's been with us right from the beginning. As always, President Trump is...
So welcome, guys. A little rough start, but America's in a rough position, so why not have a rough start to the show, right?
And the Steve Kane Show at the same time. Go to mypillow.com and use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E at...
If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe.
MyPillow products. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E at mypillow.com.
Here we go.
Take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on.
All right, indeed it is. Callers on hold, stand by. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. You know, it is hot as it gets late. Is it not hot? I mean, we're not even in June yet. It has been hot. My goodness. I mean, over 100 degrees every single day for, it seems like, weeks now. You know, I go out to my car to check the mail. I come back in, I'm sweating. I got to tell you, though, when I get in bed at night, I am cool and comfortable with all these great MyPillow products I have. You know, the MyPillow Mattress Topper 2.0 which I sleep on every night, has the temperature regulating technology. By the way, the Mattress Topper 2.0 was a 3-inch mattress topper, and it's 40% off with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, at mypillow.com. And it keeps your body, during these hot months, cool all night long. It's like having really an air conditioner. Any of you ever have a car that has the air-conditioned seats? I don't have that, but maybe my next car will. I've been in them. Oh, man, it's so good. That's what it's like when you get in the MyPillow mattress topper, when you have that on top of your bed, 2.0, with the temperature regulating technology. And in the winter months, it keeps you warm and toasty. In the summer, cool and comfortable. And it's 40% off with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. Also, the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. Giza Cotton is the finest cotton in the world. And it works just like the Mattress Topper 2.0. It keeps you cool all summer long and warm and toasty during the summer. I have, between the sheets, the Giza Dream Sheets, which, by the way, are just $39.98 with our promo code KANE at checkout, which is a huge discount. Keep you cool and comfortable all night long. Just, $39.98. You have the sheets. You have the mattress topper. Your body is going to be perfectly cool during the hottest nights of the summer. And the MyPillow 2.0 with temperature regulating technology, which is buy one, get one free with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, like the mattress topper, keeps your head and neck perfectly cool all night long. So when I go to bed at night, I am perfect all night long, and you can be too. The MyPillow 2.0, 50% off. The MyPillow mattress topper 2.0, which is a 3-inch mattress topper with the cooling technology, 40% off with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, and a massive discount on the 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, just $39.98 with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, at mypillow.com. And also free shipping on all orders over $75. Free shipping on all orders over $75. So you get all that stuff, you're going to get free shipping too. Now, you can also order by phone, and let me give you the phone number. That's 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Indicting and jailing the other side. This is not.
Yes, can you turn down the volume of whatever you're listening to in the back?
This is Jeff from Maine.
Hey, Jeff, what's up?
Listen, when Trump got up there and talked after that fiasco of a verdict, he said, I am standing up for my country and our Constitution. And he believes that Constitution and the appellate, or if it has to go all the way to the Supreme Court, is going to overturn this complete facade and a complete attack on our President Donald Trump. And he's not a bit worried. I believe he knew this was coming and was prepared for it, and him and his team are going to win. We're going to win.
Well, I agree with you on everything you said, Jeff, except one. I don't think anyone, including President Trump, expected guilty on all counts. That's insanity. And in fact, and I'll tell you, the reason I know the jury's corrupt is because we followed this trial. How could any fair jury member come up with a guilty verdict on all 34 counts? That's impossible, unless they're just, like the judge, corrupt.
That's right. And I learned something yesterday listening to a lawyer, and I don't remember his name. He said that they looked into the jurors' social media sites, and they found 3 that were pro-Trump or MAGA or something, and they were removed. And that they had, but anybody that was pro-Biden was okay. Mm-hmm. That's a huge red flag for what happened, because they rigged that jury.
Well, here's the thing about this, okay? Obviously, the entire process, the prosecutor, the judge, and the jury is corrupt. We know this. But the system has not yet failed, because there's a 2-step process still. We've got the appeals court and the Supreme Court, and I'm of the opinion that the appeals court should be skipped and the Supreme Court should come in today and stop this. It's not going to happen, but that's what should happen.
But can it happen? I thought it
happened
to the state appellate court first.
No, it doesn't. In fact, in Florida, this is an emergency. This is really a national crisis we're in. This man was president of the United States, and he's the nominee of the Republican Party. Okay, and obviously this is political. The number 3 guy from the Justice Department, Caligula, resigned to go work, as a public prosecutor in New York. Come on, give me a break. He was sent there by Biden and Merrick Garland. Everybody knows this. This is a crisis like we've had only a handful of times in this country, and it needs to be stopped.
Yes, I believe it's the greatest constitutional crisis ever in our history.
It's up there. It very well could. Yeah. It very well could. Yeah. President Trump has a press conference at 11 a.m. today, and I want to thank the president for scheduling his press conference for after I'm off the air. And he's also given me time to get home in front of a television to watch it. I appreciate it because I got a meeting this morning, and I'll be home in time. Thank you, President Trump. And we're going to get a bigger indication of. Well, let me finish. At his press conference at 11, we'll get more of a reading on where he's going to go.
I agree because our constitutional is.
Okay, go ahead. No, you're there. You're there. I got you.
I believe that our Constitution's going to be upheld, and it shouldn't even get to the Supreme Court, but it ultimately will. And what they don't understand is Trump did the greatest thing Trump did, I believe, was the seats that he got conservative on the Supreme Court, because that was ultimately what will save our republic. Is a constitutional Supreme Court, not political. Though we know several of them are very political, it doesn't matter when you.
No, you're absolutely correct. And in 2000, during the recount in Florida, there were all these ridiculous, obscene court challenges and everything going on. The Supreme Court came in and got involved right away and made a ruling right away. Because it was such a crisis that was going on. We had a countdown to Inauguration Day. It was getting closer, and they came in on a dime, the Supreme Court, to avoid a national crisis. And that is where we are right now. All right, Jeff, I appreciate the call. I got to run for our break, okay? All right, take care. If you're on hold, stand by. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number is toll-free. 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and be right back.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar.
Yeah.
WIRK 103. From the all-year cooling weather center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Yeah, we've got. We're having some tech issues today, and I can't see the. I'm having a hard time seeing the phone, so you got to bear with me on the phones. If you're on hold, hang in there.
Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Late brain crash ran the turnpike at 95 north and south through Delray Beach, Boynton Beach, Lake Worth, and West Palm. Lake Worth construction 6th Avenue south from Grove Street to Congress Avenue, and construction in West Palm with road closure Banyan Boulevard,
Let's see here.
Highway, and Olive Avenue. This traffic update is sponsored by Indeed.com. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all year round. Schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from your Indeed dashboard. Learn more by visiting Indeed.com/credit. That's traffic. I'm Dory Don.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Come out to the poker room at PBKC with 65 tables of action. Open daily for cash games, daily high hands, mega bad beat jackpots, and exciting tournaments. Bet small and win big with table games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em or 3-card poker with just a $5 minimum all day, every day. PBKC, your entertainment destination. Go to pbkennelclub.com for more info.
Join us for Moments of Scripture, hosted by Jan Coleman every Sunday morning from 6 to 6:30 a.m. We will read the Bible, pray, and offer blessings to all who listen in the name of our Lord and Savior. Moments Moments of Scripture every Sunday at 6 a.m.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. The morning after the unjust verdict of this corrupt court in New York against political prisoner President Trump. And you Democrats out there should be ashamed of yourselves. You really should. You really should be ashamed of yourselves. I mean, how you see what's going on here. Is this the kind of country you want to live in? You know, Tucker Carlson said something so smart yesterday, right after this corrupt verdict came in. Tucker Carlson, he tweeted out on X. He says, you import the third world and then you become the third world, right? And that's exactly what has happened here. And it's not a coincidence that this judge is from Colombia. You know, I'm sorry. I don't know how old he was when he came here, but he doesn't think like an American. This is the problem with immigration into this country today. There's not immersion into American society and culture. And people come to this country and they have the mindset of where they're from. And I guess this is how they roll down in Colombia. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Tammy from Kansas.
Yes, Kansas. What's on your mind?
There's a campaign called StopRepublicans.com, and Judge Bertrand is one of the biggest members.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me.
Proceed. I don't know how he could proceed over the trial, but somebody should go and Google it.
Listen, everyone knows that the judge is corrupt, and you know I was so. All right. I appreciate the call. Okay. All right. I was so disgusted by the media yesterday. I'm watching, and I'm talking about Fox, and I know there were some people like Judge Janine that were saying the right things, but in general, as a news organization, how are they not focusing in on the fact that this judge's daughter has received $10 million from the Biden-Harris-Adam Schiff campaigns and has now raised over $100 million from Democrats for political campaigning on the promise of sending Trump to jail, which her dad is going to do after this conviction. He's going to do that next month. At least going to try. That's the story, and they don't talk about that. It's mentioned in passing as if it's just some coincidence. It's not a coincidence. And, you know, when you talk about, she is an equity partner of this political fundraising group she's with, okay? She's not some girl who just works there. She's a partner in that company. You kidding me? She's made tens of millions of dollars personally off this. There have been great, well-known, famous political campaigners and campaign managers like Donna Brazile for the Democrats and Dick Morris for the Democrats and many others, okay? Other than Karl Rove, Dick Morris, Donna Brazile types who have won presidential campaigns and managed presidential campaigns, what has she done that is worth tens of millions of dollars, the judge's daughter, and campaign donations? What has she done? Other than her dad bringing in a crooked conviction 30 times over on felonies against Donald Trump. It is what it looks like it is. And everyone knows this. And the news, even though they'll mention it in passing, don't focus in on it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
So I'm looking at his bio, and this Mershon,
the judge,
on 1962 or 1963. So he's either 61 or 62 years old, and he immigrated at the age of 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but his parents that raised him weren't 6, and he was raised by Colombians with a Colombian mindset, because an American doesn't behave like this in a courtroom.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. And my worry is not what they're going to do is, my worry is these appeals courts that, and you kind of swaged it earlier, but the courts of appeal in New York could absolutely slow walk Trump's appeal.
Yeah.
They wanted, and that's the problem. And the other problem is, what if this trial in Atlanta takes place and he's forced to be in that courtroom?
Yeah. He won't. He may not be allowed. Right now, President Trump is not allowed to vote. He's not allowed to possess a firearm. Think about that.
Wow. Yeah.
Legally he's a convicted felon right now under the law.
It's not past these people to do that. To say, okay, in Fulton County, you got to be in this courtroom, or else we're going to put you in contempt and you're going to be put in jail. Well, I'm already in jail.
Well, he may not be allowed to leave the state right now. I don't know. I haven't. We'll find out at 11 some of these things. He may not be allowed to leave the state of New York right now.
And that's the thing. And think about this. You mentioned the sentencing that's going to take place in a couple of weeks here. Well, where's the Republican convention? The Republican convention is in Milwaukee, right?
Yeah, and I will tell you, the way this judge is going to lock him up. Now, what that means is we don't know. It could mean that he's under house arrest at Trump Tower or something. It could mean that. I'm serious. Even if he were guilty of these charges, which he's not, but even if he was, these are misdemeanor charges that they call felonies. How do you convict in a state court someone of federal charges where you don't have jurisdiction? That's, what this judge did. He tried and convicted Trump of federal charges in a state courtroom. Governor DeSantis, not that he would do this because DeSantis is a turncoat jerk, Benedict Arnold. But what if today Ron DeSantis issued a pardon of Donald Trump? Could he do that? No. He could pardon him of Florida crimes, but not New York crimes because DeSantis doesn't have jurisdiction in Florida. Well, this judge just convicted a man of crimes that he has no jurisdiction over, federal crimes, that the federal government refused to prosecute. Just based on that, the Supreme Court of the Appeals Court should throw that out this morning. It's insanity. All right, hold on. I'll handle the phones going forward. I think I got the phone thing under control now. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, Marie. I mean, the best I can be doing.
I feel you because I was listening to it yesterday when they were bringing down the Pamela on our great president. I'm disgusted. I'm hurt. I'm offended what they did to him, and I will never in my life forget this day. This day changed history, and if we do not stand up for him, for his family, for his wife, and support him 100%, then we are lost. We just watched the biggest hit job on the President of the United States, Donald J. Ridiculous. This is sickness, and I knew this day was coming. I knew it. I tell you why I knew this. Because when President Trump was in office, Trump went to the Supreme Court. His lawyer went to the Supreme Court. And they told the Supreme Court, Letitia James was the first one going at him. And John Roberts kicked back the case and told her, you can't go at him. You will have to wait till he leave office.
Yeah.
They was made all because he beat Hillary Clinton. This is why this happened.
Well, the main thing, the Donald Trump, he did a few things that turned them against him. But there was, by the way, Marie, I appreciate your call. Okay, thanks so much. If you're on hold, stand by. There was one moment, there were two things involving the same person that Trump did in his first term that's caused all this, okay? Now, you've heard me talk a lot Donald Trump is the first president not to be handpicked by the political establishment of the day. You know, we have this system, the two-party system, and there have been different parties that have come and gone, but, you know, we have two parties. The parties control the primary process and the nomination process. So the political establishment of both parties, which we found out under Trump is really the same outfit, they pick the nominees. And then in the general election, we get to choose from the two hand-picked establishment nominees. President Trump slipped by that. And these guys that become presidents, most of them have been groomed from a young age, including Bill Clinton and Barack Obama. Did you know, you've often heard that Bill Clinton was a Rhodes Scholar at Oxford in England. But what a lot of people don't know was this. One, he never finished the Rhodes Scholarship program. Did you know that? No. They call him a Rhodes Scholar. He never finished. Do you know why he didn't finish? A girl accused him of rape when he was in college in Oxford. And Bill Clinton was so connected, he was able to get out of England, come back to America, and get in the Ivy Leagues over here. That's a politically connected guy. He was always connected. Same goes with Obama. You know, when Obama was in his undergrad, his first 4 years of college before law school, do you know he traveled to Pakistan and had a meeting in the office with the Prime Minister of Pakistan? Who has that kind of juice? Someone who's being groomed and politically connected. They've all been groomed. They've all have political connections, except Trump. And what Trump did, he did two things that, he did many things that pissed them off, okay? But he did two things in particular. And they both involve Comey. The first thing is the fake Russian dossier, which is 100% fake. I'm not going to go through the details of it now. I've talked about it many times. I may later if it's necessary. But Comey, when Donald Trump was president-elect the first time, because he will be president-elect again, Comey went to Trump Tower with the Russian dossier and threw it down on Trump's desk and said, we can either make this go away or investigate it. And Trump said, get out of here. And then they made a case out of the fake Russian dossier, which is filled with the most absurd accusations against Donald Trump ever made. And then he fired Comey. And what we've come to realize is that the country, our entire lives, has been run by the FBI. That's it. The deep state is really the FBI. There's other people and players and such, but it's mainly the FBI, and it started with Hoover. And refusing to play ball with the fake dossier with Comey and then firing Comey, that's what put all this in motion forever. Forever and ever. They tried to blackmail him with the dossier, and they couldn't blackmail him, and he's too rich to buy. So that's why this will be endless for the rest of his life and beyond. Okay? And I am going to go on a boycott of listening to any liberal commentary on this. I tried listening to a little bit of it. I went to the Drudge Report, and the headline of the Drudge Report is guilty a whole bunch of times. I'm sure it's 34 times. Very clever. I remember when the Drudge Report used to, like Howard Stern used to be before he became an old lady, Howard Stern. But the Drudge Report used to be the fight the system, standing up against the establishment. Now they are the establishment. The Drudge Report and Howard Stern, they're the establishment. It's disgusting. But you know what? I have a lot of confidence in the American people. And President Trump's campaign funding website crashed yesterday right after the verdict because so many people wanted to donate. And there have been multiple six-figure donations immediately after the corrupt verdict yesterday, which shows the American people are on his side. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take the last break of the first hour. My name is Brian. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, grab your flip-flops and get ready for a summer in paradise on Margaritaville at Sea, where cruises to the Bahamas now start at just $75 a person for a limited time. Dance the night away at our high-energy poolside parties, then settle in for island-inspired cuisine night after night with your favorite plus one. From fins up to sundown, a Bahamas getaway with Margaritaville at Sea is the
Now, if you're new, make sure you subscribe, guys.
From day one. Office visits are usually less than 5 times per year, and the cost is only $150 per month for most patients. Let our medical team get you optimized and living your best life. Our family medical practice has been serving South Florida for over 71 years. Let us show you what personalized medical care and being treated like family feels like. Call us at 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. Or visit us at lighthousemedicalcenter.com to schedule your consultation today.
Example, one of the guys who prey on homeowners and never show up to do the work. So that's why the state of Florida licenses contractors. You can check if your contractor is licensed at the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation in Wesley at myfloridalicense.com.
This message is sponsored by the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside. Everything homemade, nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs.
If you're on hold, hang in there.
West of University on the south side of Sample Road.
Have you been to Chowderheads in Jupiter yet? If you're looking for the best seafood in town, you have to try Chowderheads. You'll love their authentic New England seafood, flown in fresh from Boston. Their award-winning lobster rolls, clam chowder, and fried oysters are absolutely delicious.
There's one opening on the board.
You will want to keep coming back for more at Chowderheads, located in the Driftwood Plaza on South US Highway 1 in Jupiter. Now open 7 days a week. For reservations or to go, call 561-203-2903 or check out their menu at chowderheadsusa.com.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen to Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. There's only one opening on the board. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On a technical side, we're having some technical issues today. I do not have the ability. This will be fixed for next week, but as of today, because of technical issues, I do not have the ability to keep track or know in what order the calls have been received or how long you've been on hold or anything. So I know some of you have been on hold for a long time. I can't tell how long you've been on hold or who called first, last, or 80 seconds. So just be a little patient with me on that today. Before we go back to the phones and we talk about this Banana Republic corrupt verdict, corrupt judge, corrupt jury yesterday, I want to talk about Dr. Appleton. You know, Dr. Appleton, where appointments are not necessary, walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. His laser wave pain treatment works. He has rid me of pain 5 times. I've had 2 shoulder injuries, 2 different occasions from skateboard accidents, and man, that last one, I thought I was done. I thought I did permanent damage. You know, when you get older, one thing I've learned about getting, I don't mind getting older. I really don't mind getting older. You get more wise, you get more information. But the one thing about getting older is, I've heard people say this when I was younger, and I just one ear out the other, you don't heal like you used to. That last fall I had on my skateboard on my shoulder, I thought I had permanently damaged my right shoulder and I was going to be like disabled. Luckily, I don't need my shoulder to talk into a microphone, but and I went to Dr. Appleton nearly in tears. That day that I was on the air was a tough day. I talked about it on the air at the time. I said my shoulder feels like there's a steak knife stabbed me in the muscle and is cutting my muscle. And then on the side, my shoulder feels like Mike Tyson punched me back when he was the champ. Even if Mike Tyson punched me today, it'd knock me down. But, it was that bad. And I went to Dr. Appleton, and I told Dr. Appleton, I said, I think my injuries are beyond your abilities, And I thought I had torn everything in there. He gave me an exam. He told me what was wrong. And he did some movement testing, and he says if the muscles, if the tendons were torn, you'd be on the floor right now. You wouldn't be able to move your arm that way. You'd be on the floor. And he gave me the first treatment with the laser wave pain treatment. And then I asked him if he could give me a back adjustment, because I love chiropractic back adjustments. I don't talk about them with Dr. Appleton. We talk about the laser wave pain treatment, but he is a maestro with the back adjustments. I love the back adjustment. Every time I get a back adjustment, I'm like 1.5 inches, 2 inches taller. But I walked out of his office, and as I was walking out of his office, the pain, I told Dr. Appleton, I'm feeling better already. And I came back for the second treatment a day or two later, and then the pain's gone. It hasn't returned. If you're in pain, you don't have to be. Go see Dr. Appleton. His number, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com. Give him a call and say bye-bye to your pain. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, it's Sandra from Boca. How are you?
All right, Sandra, what's up?
Yeah, pretty bad. Pretty bad. I don't think they realize even what they've done. And, President Trump obviously has been a victim of all this, and 34 counts guilty. And
I mean, how is that even possible? The jury is as corrupt as the judge.
Yes. And this is the minority of people. This is what I want to make clear. This is not what the American people want. This is not what the American people asked for. And now because of this is just my humble opinion, innocent people will now go to jail because of this incident. This is the direction that our country is headed in. Corruption, corruption, corruption with a capital C. This travesty of a trial. And now innocent people will now go to prison.
Yeah, and I know young people, they don't teach this anymore, but America's birthday's coming up, and what July 4th, is this the 248th birthday of the United States, and here we are living under tyranny with corrupt gangsters.
And think they gave them a fair trial? No.
That wasn't a trial. They were just waiting. That jury.
Our fundamental rights in this country is to have the right to a fair trial, and he didn't even get it. He did not even get it.
That jury decided they were going to go guilty before they got called for jury duty.
Oh, of course. Next to the O.J. Simpson trial, this is even worse.
The O.J. trial. People forget. I covered the O.J. trial on the radio. It was a long time ago, but people forget. O.J. Simpson, there has never been a man on trial for murder more guilty than O.J. He had a pair of custom shoes that there were only a few dozen made in the world, and the shoe print was in the blood pool. Ron Goldman's blood was in his Bronco. They found the murder clothes in the washing machine at his mansion in Brentwood. The evidence was endless. Kim Kardashian's dad probably disposed of the knife. But anyway, when O.J. Simpson was acquitted, the country was sick because a man got away with brutally murdering 2 people. And that feeling was, yesterday, if you guys...
admitted it was payback for that poor soul that was...
Yeah, Rodney King. One of the male jurors in the O.J. trial, when they got off the witness stand, gave O.J. the Black Power fist sign. And this is and that's what happened yesterday. It was and that feeling after the O.J. verdict was a sickened feeling that was going through the country because and black people were saying, hey, white people have been getting away with killing blacks for hundreds of years, too, for us. They were bragging about it. They thought it was funny, like these morons now. This is this country right now. Banana Republic sounds like a catchphrase, but we are living under tyranny right now.
Remember, this is the minority of the American people. Minority. This is a small group of people that have just managed to work their way because they're a judge or they're part of this jury or Letitia James or any of these other people. They're the minority of what they want, what this country wants. They want Donald Trump back in office. The majority of the American people do. Look at the rally in the Bronx. Look at that.
Well, but I got to tell you, I have no doubt in my mind this guy's going to sentence Trump to jail time. Now, I don't know if that means Mar-a-Lago, Trump Tower, or federal prison. He can't, or a state prison, but he's going to sentence him to jail time next month. I have no doubt in my mind.
I got to tell you something. He can be inaugurated in prison. It wouldn't matter to me as long as he's the president. I don't care.
I agree. I agree. You know, Ann Coulter hates Trump like the plague. And Ann Coulter, she's deep Republican establishment. And Ann Coulter immediately posted on Twitter yesterday, "You've just reelected Donald Trump."
Even she knows.
And she hates the man. She was so upset at the verdict because it helps him so much. But it's upset. You know, last night, you know, my podcast, the Brian Craig Show podcast, which I upload on all podcast platforms, I did a podcast that's only on the podcast platforms. It's nowhere. I didn't put it on YouTube or anything. You got to go to Spotify or Apple Podcast or any of the podcast platforms. My wife was broken down in tears. We were podcasting as the verdict had been read, and she was in tears, literal tears. I mean, I did a very short podcast because I was so disgusted by it I couldn't even speak.
I saw Trump's. When I saw Trump come out and give his statement, though, he's one of the strongest people I think I've ever seen. I'm not kidding.
You know, he said he was upset. He says, "I'm okay. I'll be okay." He said, and I'm looking forward to his press conference at 11 because we've got to follow his lead, and he's gonna tell us where to go.
President, he's going to be the president no matter what.
He has to be.
No matter what.
He has to be.
And that's what his.
Listen. The Nazis had judges too. Okay? And just because you've got a robe and a gavel doesn't mean you're not an outlaw. This judge is a criminal, and these people on that jury are criminals too. And I didn't watch Bragg's press conference. I had no interest in hearing him, and I did see him and the Colangelo and all those jerks grinning ear to ear like they're sick.
Yeah, it's really sick. But like I said, this is a turning point in our country that I thought I would never see.
And I never wanted to see it. Yeah, all right, we got to run. Thanks for the call. If you're on hold, stand by. There's one opening on our board at 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be back right after this.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WYRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and Hurry Broward on 96.9 FM, 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the all-year cooling weather center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC services.
If you're new to the program, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to be talking all weekend about this on YouTube. I'll be doing live streams with calls over the weekend, some with calls, some without calls, and over the weekend, and also new podcasts and everything. So I'm going to be very active and busy over the weekend, guys. So make sure you're subscribed and you got the notification bell clicked. I'll do some live streams with calls and some without. You know, if I'm in my studio at home, I'll be taking calls. Do a mix. Sometimes I like the more casual, laid-back streaming, you know.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Come out to the poker room at PBKC with 65.
You know, and it's interesting that the jury, they didn't have a press conference. They didn't have a press conference.
Bet small and win big with table games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em or 3-card poker with just a $5 minimum all day, every day. PBKC, your entertainment destination. Go to pbkennelclub.com for more info.
My stream last night, some people kept talking about the Pac-Man machine. That's my Ms. I have a Ms. Pac-Man machine, not Pac. Ms. Pac-Man is much better than Pac-Man. That's a Ms. Pac-Man machine behind me. All right. All right, one opening on the board at 1-888-465-2631. It's Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. We're talking about this unjust verdict. You know, there's one opening on our board. One thing I noticed, too, yesterday, the jury didn't have a press conference. I've seen many high-profile trials. I've always covered high-profile trials. I've always followed them. And when there's something this high-profile, typically some of the jurors want to talk to the press. Not these guys. Why do you think that is? Because they know what they did was wrong. They know they're corrupt. They can't face even their liberal friends in the media. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello.
Yes.
This is Bruce from Michigan.
Hey, Bruce. What's up?
Well, I'm a first-time caller. What struck me is you have the most prominent legal professionals telling us what all the problems are, but they not seem to be interested in policing themselves. It seems to me that the legal profession should have a system whereby someone this egregious, a couple of his legal professional buddies should come in, haul him out of the courtroom, and hand away his license.
Well, there's a problem with that. There is authority over the judge in the state of New York. There's two people that have authority over the judge that could remove him. One of them is the governor of New York, Hochul, Democrat hack. And the other one is Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York. So New York is run by gangster criminals. So there's nobody nobody there.
Problem of the government, it should be a problem of should embed everybody in this country that holds a law license.
I'm sure it does. You know, one of the frustrating things that I turned off the TV yesterday, and the reason I turned off the television and stopped following the news, I went and watched Star Trek last. I was like, enough of this. I went and watched Star Trek, and the reason I did that is because I was very frustrated watching the news. I was talking about Fox in particular because I couldn't watch CNN and all this garbage after the verdict. They're doing legal analysis of the situation, talking to lawyers. How can you have legal analysis of an illegal thing? The whole process, you can't have analysis of something that's illegal. And this whole process was illegal from the beginning to the end of it yesterday. And I get very frustrated.
Have a system whereby they.
All right. I don't know. Good question. The first 7 times. I mean, all right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, it's Renee from Harlem.
Yep.
Well, I just have to say this is a good day, and you know, I guess the white power vote is going to be up in arms. Going to have to start wearing hoods again. But I think they're going to put him in jail.
Yeah, you know, I got to tell you, Jay, you're so stupid and short-sighted in this. You know, I was talking.
5'7" attitude. You know, you talk all your crap on the radio and throw your insults, but you know, out on the street, you would be really pulled.
Really? What are you? Are you threatening me? Are you threatening me?
No, but you like to throw insults, and you wouldn't do that in person.
Well, listen, excuse me. First of all, you invite the insults. You call me, but
insult.
You call me. I don't call you. You know what I'm about. You know how I handle things. So yeah, you invite this. You call me
ignorantly.
Okay, but you know, at the beginning of the first hour of the program, I was talking about the great Martin Luther King, who I'm sure you have respect for.
Never use his words.
Yeah. And Martin Luther
support somebody like you. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, I absolutely. He wouldn't support some bum like you. Martin Luther King and the civil rights leaders sacrificed so much, and you just sit on your butt in front of a TV, you know, doing nothing. But Martin Luther King, I'm going to say it with or without you, Martin Luther King was arrested at least 30 times by Democrats. By Democrats. And Martin Luther King, I was talking about, excuse me, You know, I'd like to have a conversation with you, but I'm going to finish what I'm going to say. Martin Luther King, when the Democrats put him in jail in Birmingham, wrote his most important work, the letter from the Birmingham jail, which I'm sure you've not read, okay?
Now Republicans.
No, they're not. They're still Democrats, and one of them was Joe Biden, okay? And in that letter, which is a book, you can go and get the book, Letter from the Birmingham Jail, Martin Luther King said, injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. And what we have going on right now is a sad, sick injustice. And your racial hatred blinds you to the terrible place this country is in right now.
My racial hatred. You know, your whole premise, your whole purpose for being is your reaction to Obama.
No, I was doing this. I was doing this long before. So why was I criticizing Clinton prior to Obama? Why was I criticizing Clinton prior to Obama? I was doing this before then.
Everything about Trump is anti-Obama. Everything about him. He wouldn't be around if it wasn't for Obama.
Yeah.
You know it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know it. Your whole audience is based on racism.
All right. Well, I'm not going to thank you. I'm not going to sit here and be barked at by a moron. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Brian. This is Bill from Sanford, Florida.
Hey, Bill.
I don't know if I missed it, but I thought that the jurors had instructions to either vote for a misdemeanor or a felony or vote on the second crime or whatever that was. Am I mistaken?
But say that one more time. I didn't quite understand your meaning.
I thought the juries could. I thought that when they found him guilty, they could have found him guilty of a misdemeanor or they could find him guilty of a felony.
It's all the jury instructions are so confusing. Nobody knows. But this is what I do know. Okay. Not only is Donald Trump 100% innocent, no reasonable person could really make a case against that, but for the jury to come back guilty on every single charge is impossible without corruption. And, you know, what we have on the jury are hardcore liberal activists. And that's it. And they hate, they're like Renee. You got a bunch of Renees on the jury.
And then I looked up the fact that what happens in a criminal case, who goes first for closing arguments, and it says that the prosecution goes first. What happened in this case? This judge says no, the defendant goes first. That they're supposed to. The defendant has to be able to charge. The state have to make their their point, and then the defendant has the ability to do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, whoever went first doesn't matter. This whole proceeding was illegal. He was charged and convicted of federal crimes in a state court. They do not have jurisdiction over federal crimes. How has this even been allowed?
This whole thing is a cluster. It's really bad, really bad. This judge is just out. I mean, Trump is innocent. This judge he's going to put him in jail, like you said.
Yes, he's going to sentence him to jail time. Now, like I said, that could be house arrest at Trump Tower. I don't know. But there's no way this judge is not going to give him jail time. He had President Trump incarcerated for 2 days in a holding room at the courthouse, kind of maybe like a little test.
Oh, I don't know. This is not going to. It'll end well because Trump's going to win. That's the only thing I know. Trump's going to win.
Mm-hmm. He's got to win.
And Trump has the way he's acted throughout this whole thing is astronomical. I don't know how anybody could go through what he did and not get so angry when he comes out of a courtroom. And Trump was the opposite.
Because he wants people to be cool.
That's right. The example. You know, this is the way it is. Come on, just don't get. It's terrible.
Well, when President Trump addresses the nation today at 11 a.m. Eastern, whatever you're doing, watch it. You can pull it up online. You want to watch it live. Don't watch the media filtering sound bites. Try, if you can, watch the president live.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
And he's gonna set us all straight. I'm sure. He's gonna let us know that everything's gonna be all right, and hopefully he's gonna act like a gentleman, like he's always.
Do you know? Is there any doubt in your mind that the jury's corrupt, like the judge?
Well, it appears that way, unless they all have been intimidated by Democrats in some way.
Man, like the two lawyers in there, yeah.
If they found them not guilty, it's New York. If they release the names of these juries, some people. I mean, that's why nobody came out. They're afraid. I'm guessing that they're afraid.
Well, they're embarrassed, maybe.
Oh yes. I mean, the whole thing was just a complete setup from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It was coordinated with that Democrat prosecutor that came out of D.C.
Colangelo. I call him Caligula on purpose, guys. You know, a lot of people say his name's Colangelo, not Caligula. You don't think I know? I mean, give me a break. It's like, don't you think I know that it's not Clay Aiken, that idiot, no talent that does the show with Buck Sexton? Of course, I know what their names are. When I say their names wrong, it's just a way to insult them in a not so obvious way. But humor's been lost in our society. But I'll tell you this: the system has not failed until the Supreme Court comes in. If the Supreme Court backed this corruption up and Trump goes to prison, then the system will have failed. But at this point, our legal system has not yet failed. We have a corrupt prosecutor and a corrupt judge and a corrupt or intimidated jury. I mean, I'll give you an example. If I were on El Chapo's jury, I would have gone not guilty on El Chapo's jury. Wouldn't you? Would you go not? Would you?
With the cartel?
Hell yeah, I would go not guilty on El Chapo, and I'm not kidding. You think I'm kidding? Why would I go guilty on El Chapo? You may get away with it, but 15 years later, your head's in a duffel bag, right? I'm serious. So there could be a similar thing with this jury. Look at how nasty liberals get. Liberals are nasty people, you know, and you're in there with a Robert De Niro type whispering in your ear, God knows what, you might go guilty too. I'm not so quick to judge the jury as much as the judge.
Yeah, but the judge has just done. He has done everything that was not that is not normally done in a courtroom in a criminal case. He is just made up rules. He just made.
But I've told you guys all along, you can never predict what a jury's going to do. Never. You know, and juries make their decisions on all kinds of ways. But I do find it odd that not one of those jurors has talked to the press.
And the thing is, there were some pundits out there that I respect that thought there's a possibility of him getting off. And so, like you said, you can't predict that. You can't predict.
There was a story yesterday that there were 8, and it was a story based on reporters inside the courtroom. There were 8, and they said there were 8 jurors that hate Trump with a passion. They could see the way their body reaction. But there was one juror who every time Trump or one of like the J.D. Vances came into the courtroom, they lit up and were excited. So they were like a MAGA person. And there was a lot of reporting on this person yesterday, in fact. I tweeted a story about this. If you go on my Twitter before the verdict came out, you know, and so it is very possible that they were intimidated. I mean, you know, and that can happen. I mean, these are just regular people sometimes. They could also be corrupt, but
then there's also the fact that the judge was basically saying, if 4 people did vote on this count, and 4 people vote on a different count, 4 people vote on another count, he's going to consider that unanimous.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know if that happened.
No, we don't.
We don't have information on how the jury voted on every.
And even though the case was being reported on, it was really a secret trial and a secret verdict reading because we had no cameras or audio in the courtroom to hear or see what was going on. And when they after verdicts they poll juries, and hearing the tone, the voice of the jury would tell us something possibly. We didn't even get that.
Well, yeah, I believe. Did we know that? Did we know that it was done?
I didn't hear any reporting on the jury being polled on the verdict after it was read. No, so I don't even know that happened. You know, you're talking about a trial of a president of the United States on some jaywalking charges that they call felonies. You know, this is such a divisive thing. There should have been. I hate that word "should," but we were owed transparency on this through the process, and we've gotten the exact opposite.
Absolutely, it was like something being done behind closed doors, and nothing's exposed.
That's right. All right, I got to run. Thanks for the call. There's only one opening on the board. Call is on hold. Stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action.
I'll be right back, guys.
Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, grab your flip-flops and get ready for a summer in paradise on Margaritaville at Sea, where cruises to the Bahamas now start at just $75 a person for a limited time. Dance the night away at our high-energy poolside parties, then settle in for island-inspired cuisine night after night with your favorite plus one. From fins up to sundown, a Bahamas getaway with Margaritaville at Sea is the perfect summer refresh. Book it today to lock in your savings on your next cruise together at margaritavillatSea.com.
Are you living your best life? Are you feeling the way you know you should be? This is John, CFO at Lighthouse Medical Center. Our hormone optimization therapy programs have helped so many people get back to feeling the way they did in their 20s. They're full of energy after a long day, reduced their risk of heart disease, sexual vigor and excitement are great, sleeping the way they should without disturbances, and reducing their symptoms of aging. Our all-natural hormone optimization therapy is precise, easy, and effective from day one. Office visits are usually less than 5 times per year, and the cost is only $150 per month for most patients. Let our medical team get you optimized and living your best life. Our family medical practice has been serving South Florida for over 71 years. Let us show you what personalized medical care and being treated like family feels like. Call us at 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. Or visit us at lighthousemedicalcenter.com to schedule your consultation today.
Okay, let's talk about renovation and how it's not like your ordinary happy ending home makeover show. Example, they're the guys who prey on homeowners and never show up to do the work. So that's why the state of Florida licenses contractors. You can check if your contractor is licensed at the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation website at myfloridalicense.com.
This message is sponsored by the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious.
Every line on the board is lit.
Succulent on the inside. Everything homemade. Nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University.
Steve, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Get back in my
What time?
headset.
What time do you want to come on?
I'll come on 7:30, but I got feedback in my headset.
I don't know if that'll be there when you go on or not. I don't know. I can't. It might just be because it's there because we're talking now. Probably this way. Does it go?
Okay.
All right. If there's, I can't hear you now, Steve. But if there's feedback when you go on, we'll just do it on the phone. I'll call you on the phone. We'll do it on the phone today. Our regular board op is not here today. All right, we are back. Every line on the board is lit. Our number 1-888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call. We're, of course, talking about this illegal verdict yesterday. And here's a question that I asked this at the top of the show, and I think this is a legitimate question. Is Donald Trump really a convicted felon? And what I mean by that is this court legitimate? The judge's daughter has raised over $100 million from Democrats on the promise of sending Trump to jail, and her dad's just did it. If that's not corruption, I don't know what is. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Terry from Florida.
Hey, Terry.
Man, I tried to tell you, man, he was guilty. I tried to tell you.
What was he guilty? What was he guilty? What's he guilty of?
Doing stuff.
Excuse me. What is he guilty of?
Well, what happened is that he was taking money and paying prostitutes. You know what I mean?
No, that's not even that. Okay, I mean, the guy doesn't even know what he's charged with. How do you know he's guilty? I don't. Okay, I'll let you all decide this. Okay, I mean that's just stupid. That's not even what the charges were. I'm not going to ask. I'll just go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Ryan.
Yes.
You are the best in predicting. Don't let Steve predict. Don't let Steve do any more predictions on the radio show, please. You are the best. And for you to be MAGA, I'm telling you, hit me right on the nose. Trump's going to get some time. I'm glad that you admitted that. As MAGA. You know Trump's going to get time. I wish they would have televised the trial.
You want Trump to go to slow down for a second. Excuse me, slow down. I got to hit the dump button on that. That guy should be arrested for what he said. If you're on hold, stand by. I got to wait for the delay to build back up. I've had to use the dump button for the first time today, and it was on a Democrat. And I want to say, I know people are upset for good reason. An innocent man was just convicted of 34 felonies, and every conservative and MAGA caller who's called in today has been cool, calm, collected, and totally cool. And I get a Democrat, I got to hit the dump button. I thought I might have to hit the dump button for some conservatives today because people are so upset. And I don't like doing that, but there's certain things that can't be said. All right, the delay is re-engaged. Every line on the board is lit. Now, I do want to say this before I go back to the phones. We're having some technical issues today, so I do not have the ability to know in which order you called in or how long you've been on hold today. So I know some of you probably been on hold a long time, and I'm doing my best, but I have no idea who called first or last and how long you've been on hold. So you might, when I take your call, you might have been on hold for 10 seconds or 50 minutes. I don't know. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug.
You know, I'd like to mention something about this, but first I got to make a quick warning to everyone. I put in a claim to my insurance company for a water leak.
Today, Doug, does anyone care about your insurance claim today?
Just not my kid, but everybody.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about homeowners insurance today. I mean, yeah.
Is the most annoying thing I've ever experienced, man. These jurors are all part of this never Trumper crowd. Even though they know that Trump is innocent, they don't want to upset their never Trumpers, and they find him guilty. If the Supreme Court or somebody has to act quickly before the judge puts him in.
Well, hold on. I'm going to reserve, as I said to a caller earlier, I'm going to reserve judgment on the jury for now. We know the judge is corrupt, but like I told the caller, if I were on El Chapo's jury, I would have gone not guilty, right? Wouldn't you? Would you have gone guilty on El Chapo's jury?
No way.
Why not? Why not? Why would you? Why on El Chapo's jury would you have gone not guilty and not guilty?
Well, kind of like what happened one time when one of those judges got a picture.
Yeah, that's right. You could get killed. The cartels could come in. So if jury intimidation is possible in this case, so I'm gonna reserve judgment on the jury for the time being.
All right. Well, certainly possible that there's intimidation, but I think it's more never Trumpers. They don't care.
If I'll tell you why I'm reserving judgment on the jury. You've got 12 jurors and how many alternates? Were there 4 alternates? How many were there? 4 alternates. So you've got 16 never Trumpers on a New York jury, and not one of them, not even an alternate, did an interview yet. You know what I mean? How could you get 14 never Trumpers to not gloat? Not one of them's gloating?
I think they are waiting to get big money to go on TV and they have their story read, but who knows?
No, liberals do not have self-control like that.
That's true. That's true.
So the fact that not even one of them has talked to the press yet makes me think maybe they could have been afraid. Because there was very clearly a story about this one MAGA juror who would light up every time a Republican walked into the courtroom. In particular, J.D. Vance. They got really excited when J.D. Vance came in. A woman, female juror. So, how did this woman on a dime come back guilty on 34 counts?
That's what I'd like to know. We got to find this out. I don't know what the hell's going on over there.
I mean, look at these Democrats I've been talking to this morning. I had used the dump button on the one before you. So and I can even tell you what he said. And the liberals do not have self-control.
Democrats would like to see Republicans get violent. And they're going to do it?
Well, but they're not. They're not, and everyone's going to be cool. All right. Go take care of your homeowner's insurance. Okay. There's one opening on the board. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're going to really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with...
All right. Steve, can you hear me?
Yes.
If there's a problem with your... our regular board op's out today.
I hear that.
Okay.
There is a problem.
No, we won't know till you're on the air.
Oh, okay.
So if there's a problem when you're on the air, at the next break, I'll just call you on the phone.
Okay.
And we'll do it over the phone if there's a problem. All right.
Okay.
But I won't be able to do it till the next break. But we'll find out when we get back if there's a problem.
Okay.
All right. Hold on.
With a AAA credit rating and bonded up to $10 million, Laporta Contracting doesn't need a large deposit like those other contractors do. Typical deposits other contractors want are 1/3 of the contract. If your job is $30,000, that's a $10,000 deposit. If your job is $300,000, that's $100,000. What are they doing with your money? Typically, it takes 3 to 4 weeks to get a permit, and HOAs, much longer. If they need money for the materials, they don't have credit with the suppliers, and that spells bad news for the homeowner or HOA. Tom Laporta is honest, knowledgeable, and reliable, and he'll never sell you a roof you don't need. Laporta Contracting has been in the roofing and contracting business since 1988, and his services cover the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. Tom Laporta can handle any type of roofing job too. Residential roofing and repair, commercial roofs, schools, municipal buildings, office buildings, emergency repairs. If it's roofing, Tom Laporta can do it. Call Tom Laporta right now on his cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaContracting.com.
Look up in the sky. On a t-shirt, a hoodie, or a hat, it's the Print Hero. The Print Hero team is made up of expert designers and printers, each with their own unique superpowers. Help your company look great. Stand out with your unique lifestyle. The Print Hero has you covered. Let your business soar with Print Hero. Display your logo, love, lifestyle, or whatever you want the world to see on a t-shirt, hoodie, or hat. Best prices and fast turnaround time. Print Hero, a company that goes above and beyond to deliver top quality products and services to their clients. Learn more at theprinthero.com. Up and away.
Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to feel old. This is Brian Craig, and I want to tell you about my anti-aging doctor, Dr. Mitch Matez at the Biostation West Del Rey, and hormone replacement pellet therapy. Hormone replacement pellet therapy is all natural. What it does is restore your hormones to where they were when you were in your 20s. You'll feel younger, you'll have more energy, you'll get your sex drive back. And women, hormone replacement pellet therapy completely stops and reverses all the signs and symptoms of menopause. Mood swings gone, night sweats gone. I've met listeners before and after hormone replacement pellet therapy with Dr. Matez, and when I first meet him, I was like Joe Biden, and everyone wants to be like him. And then I meet him again after they began hormone replacement pellet therapy, and they have their energy back just like Trump. They're standing up tall, and they feel years younger. Now, it's always a free consultation with Dr. Matez when you tell him you heard about him on the radio. 561-320-8893. 561-320.
All right, we'll be coming back after this.
93.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating...
All right, we are back. Every line on the board is lit, so stand by. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Of course, we are discussing this disgusting verdict yesterday. Steve, you with us? All right, good. I told you everything would be cool, didn't I? All right. Do you want to go to the phones or you want to say some things? Pretty disgusting, huh? All right. Our number, every line's full, so I won't give out the number right now. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Mike from Houston. How are you?
All right.
Well, this is a dark day in American history. It's the darkest I've seen, and I'm 63. I never thought I'd live to see the day when means of justice would be co-opted for political purposes. I never thought I'd live to see the day when the justice system would be used to vindictively persecute a political opponent. And
I want you to slow down. I want to slow down on that. The Democrats have a long history of doing this. How many civil rights people, not just Martin Luther King, were arrested and put in jail because they were leading political opposition movements against the Democrats?
Right, but I never thought it would go this. It's so blatant, Brian.
Yeah.
So they're not even trying to hide it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Can I ask you a
so
question?
blatant.
Is there anybody here that can? I mean, we it's obvious the bad aspects of this. Is there anybody that can see anything positive in it?
Well, yeah. I mean, we've got. It's not over. I mean, we've got the appeals court. We got the Supreme Court.
Well, not only that, but I mean,
there's.
To me, that it seems to me there's going to be a huge backlash.
Well, Steve, hold on, caller. Hold on a second, caller. Okay, because, obviously there's positives. Trump's campaign website crashed from overactivity. He's made there have been multiple six-figure donations, some of them by Democrats. But the sadness that people have right now isn't for Trump, because we know he's going to be victorious. It's sadness for the country that we have these outlaw gangsters that are running big parts of our country, of our government, and they're openly committing some hardcore crimes. And I think people are just sad for the state of the country.
There's a term in I think it's theater called denouement, and it's when the facade drops and the audience just gets to see the full enormity of the villain. A Iago.
Yeah.
Your buddy, I'm your friend, I'm helping you, and then at some point in the play, the audience sees just how evil that villain is, how villainous that character is. And I think that's the great thing that comes from this, is Americans finally, like myself, are finally waking up going, hey, I've been living in a dream world. Okay? I've been living where I thought truth and justice mattered.
Hold on, wait, really? You really telling me this surprises you? I mean,
I've been waking up over the last 6 or 8 years, but yeah, I was kind of naive. I grew up in the Washington D.C.
Steve, if you saw President Trump yesterday, he was surprised. I don't think anyone thought 34 guilty counts. That's crazy. I think everyone's surprised by that, including Trump, by his reaction yesterday.
And what gets me is just the sheer number. I mean, generally speaking, a prosecution, Al Capone, someone like that, they'll narrow it down to 5 or 6, 34. So they're trying to throw everything at the wall just to get something, and all 34 stuck. Now, come on.
Exactly. Now, what do you think? See, I've been using this El Chapo jury analogy. Like, if I were on El Chapo's jury, I would have gone not guilty. So,
El Chapo, you know the old joke? Why is it that a dog licks its private parts? You know the
because it can. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I don't think that's true with the jury necessarily, because there was no. Well, you don't know. Let me finish. There was a person on the jury who was a MAGA person. There was some reporting. It's been coming out the last week or so about this one person that every time a Republican came into the courtroom, they would light up and get excited, and how 8 of them would have these physical emotions of hate when Republicans came in. So at least that holdout was intimidated. It's not just some dog that wants to lick their testicles, Steve. I think there's serious concern that people on this jury were terrified to do anything other than what these outlaws wanted them to do.
You think
I think it would have taken.
I think that at least that one person was. Yeah.
I think it would have taken an individual of incredible character and resilience to stand up against that kind of intimidation. I think I would have caved, to tell you the truth.
Oh, come on, get out of here.
Oh yeah.
When they start making hints about
they don't threaten, Steve. They don't threaten you. They threaten your kids. That's and that's what people get scared about.
And one wish it would be that I could have been on that show.
Well, I know in your fantasy you'd stand up to the man, but when they start, well, it's easy to say it when you're not there. Steve, come on. They don't put people on. When they put people on juries, they don't put strong-willed people on juries very often. They put people on there that they can push around and influence. And I'm curious. One thing I'm very curious about is what went on with these 2 lawyers on the jury. Were these 2 lawyers there to continue the prosecution's case against weak-minded, uneducated jurors?
I'm sure they were there to guide to the verdict that the prosecution wanted. But gentlemen, I just want to say these are dark days, but we've been through dark days before. So just
exactly.
Yeah. That's right. All right, take care. Thanks for the call. Well, President Trump will be addressing the nation at 11 a.m. Eastern So we're going to get an indication onto where things are going. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Steve. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning.
You know, this is not about, Brian's right, this is not about President Trump. These people calling these Democrats that are going wild right now, having it, the celebration. Listen, there's Arlington Cemetery, man. There's all those soldiers that gave their lives not for what happened yesterday. It was a spit in their face, man. It was a spit in the wall, the Vietnam Wall in Washington, D.C. Spit in everybody's face that gave their life for this. This country would never, we were special. And what they did yesterday, they just destroyed over 200 years of being free in this country.
Yeah, you're right.
Take down the President of the United States the way they did yesterday. I'm not talking about Donald Trump.
I'm confused. Maybe let me ask you one question. What makes you think the last chapter has been written on this? You're talking like the ball game's over, and it hasn't even started.
No, you don't get it. You don't get it.
That's why I asked you to explain it to me.
The corruption that happened should never have happened. There's such corruption within the United States government, within the Washington, D.C. area, within the White House, within the President of the United States. The corruption with the justice system. We just lost 1/3 of our government. When they give citizenship out there, they ask the question, what 3 branches of government?
See, they don't know. They don't know. And, here, listen, there's this conviction yesterday was directed by the White House. That's why they sent Colangelo there from the Justice Department with Bragg. And we have the President of the United States just has gotten 34 felony convictions against his opponent. That's a pretty bad thing.
Let's try another way. Hold on one second.
No, listen.
Do you think this, Richie? Do you think this verdict yesterday? Do you think it's going to stand?
No, but I think that the
Of course not. But then, so why are you so hysterical? I don't
Because
like
what
it. It was
they did
not
yesterday.
I didn't sleep last night.
It wasn't the decision of the jury, Steve. I think you're lost here. It was the way the courtroom was operated. This is not an American courtroom the way they ran it. They ran it just like Russia would run it. Or Venezuela. This was corrupted.
I'll tell you. Let me tell you. There's a girl that I've read a lot about. Her name was Sophie Scholl, and she was a student in Germany during the Nazi regime, and she led a student protest movement, and she got caught and was put on trial. And she went in front of a judge, one of those Nazi judges, and I've read a lot about Sophie Scholl. You guys should too. The way that Nazi judge treated Sophie Scholl is the way this judge treated Trump. And in the end, everything will hopefully work out, Steve. But you're skipping over some very terrible things that just happened because you don't want to deal with it.
There's no chance that this verdict...
Steve, that's not... Hold on a second. That is not true. Okay? The chances are Trump will prevail with the appeals in the Supreme Court. But a legal precedent has been made. This is a president. What if they decide to do this over a governor running in Nebraska in 5 years? They'll do it. Or a mayor running in Iowa.
Trust our court system.
That's right.
Could you ever trust a judge anymore?
Yeah.
Could you trust it? Jury we always worry about, but we always figure we're going to get an impartial judge, somebody who's going to be fair. Call balls and...
This judge. Let me tell you. This judge, he's from Colombia. He came here as a child, but he was raised by Colombians, and he ran this courtroom like a Colombian courtroom. Richie, we got to run. Thanks for it is disgusting. I agree. I just think, Steve, I just don't think you want to face the truth of what happened yesterday.
That this will not stand.
I agree with you. But
I'm cutting out one of the...
Well, you're short-sighted. Well, but you're short-sighted. This isn't going to stand because Donald Trump is the most popular person to ever run for president of the United States. and he has 100 million supporters. But other people, but some guy running for Congress doesn't have 100 million supporters, and they can do this to him. This is a bad thing that happened yesterday, Steve.
Do you hear me saying that it's a good thing?
I hear a lot of denial. But listen, we gotta take our break. Okay, we'll take our last break of the second hour and be back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Oh, all right, and it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
We're great. What do you have for us today?
Well, we do have our Living Trust workshop coming up next week on Tuesday, June 4th at 2 p.m. in our Boca Raton office. Normally when I'm on, I'm telling you guys that we have, if I'm talking about it, it's because we may have a seat or two left in our available to make a reservation. We're coming into the summer, and honestly, we have more than a few seats. So we certainly have room. So for anybody who has been wanting to get to these workshops, anybody who wants to start exploring what is the right estate plan for you and your family to take care of your assets and take care of the people you love, there are seats available. If you call today, we can make sure that you get in. And, of course, these workshops are not just about living trusts. We also go into all the other important estate planning documents people need, their health care documents, their powers of attorney, and what those do and what the benefits of those are. We also discuss the elder law and the Medicaid, because it's so important to make sure your estate plan is going to help you protect your assets during your lifetime as well. So all of those things and more are going to be discussed. So just the information alone is worth your time for this free workshop, let alone the opportunity that if you do need to either update your estate plan or get an estate plan, for those of you who come and schedule your free consultation, there are discount certificates available for you as well.
What day next week is that again, Barry?
That's going to be next Tuesday.
Tuesday, guys. Yeah. Okay, guys. And let me and another added benefit is you get to meet Attorney Barry Siegel, and you get to meet his entire staff. And your estate plan is pretty important to you and your family. And you get to meet the people that will be putting it together if you choose to go with the Siegel Law Group, which you should, of course, do. And you'll see how much detail goes into these, which is really amazing. All right, listen, call about that workshop that's coming up on Tuesday. The number is toll-free, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Barry, we'll talk next week.
Okay.
Okay, and we're back. Okay, let's go back to our phones. There's one opening where Attorney Barry Siegel was speaking with us at 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Dr. Lamaski.
Hey, Dr. Lamaski, what's up?
Hey, Doc, how are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to say, Steve, I'm impressed how you're handling what's happened in the news. I'm glad you're nice and calm. But it is, as Brian says, it's a big upset. And your listeners being completely upset is absolutely the way they should feel. But I just want to remind everyone that we forget, but life literally is 10% is what's going to happen in life. But 90% is going to be how we react to it. This is the most mentally and emotionally biggest challenge. But just like propaganda, all this stuff, you have to stay strong. You can't let this get to you mentally and emotionally, and you're just going to have to ride out these tough times, but you need to stay strong. Okay? You take breaks, you don't watch the news all the time, but things are going to change. Listen, this is history. We read history where things were so bad, and then it eventually stops, and it turns around, and it's going to turn around for us, and you're going to see it coming.
It's easier for me because I've had the benefit of extensive work with you through the years, and you have helped me gain a perspective on things that not everybody has been fortunate enough to have. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm busy. I'm doing well. You know, with just crazy things going around, I have to remind myself that 90% is how I'm going to.
Well, see, Dr. Lemaski is a mental health therapist. Business is always good. There's always nutcases out there, but I'll tell you. But
it is very.
But Dr. Lemaski, I'm not the therapist you are, but what Steve is doing, I think, is dealing with, he's trying to live in a little bit of denial here and not understand the seriousness of this. And what happened yesterday, this is not a one-time event. This is something that Democrats are going to continue to do for many years to come, which is try to imprison people that are popular and going to beat them in upcoming races.
Well, we hope that doesn't happen moving forward.
No, that's their plan.
But the good thing is that we have people like you guys that are speaking out. We need more and more people that don't shut up. You can't stay silent. It is going to be tough. It is going to be challenging, but it is going to change.
And I gotta tell you something. I want to talk to the Jews in the audience who are Democrats. I mean, you know, I was watching some CNN last night, and I'm seeing some of the people that are high-fiving. They're Jews, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, they're celebrating. Biden is responsible for these Hamas supporters that we're seeing on the streets of America that are supporting the killing of Jews. This election is so serious and so important on levels that we don't even really fully deal with because it's so difficult.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. And the people that you say are the Jews, you know, we say there's a big thing on, unfortunately, self-hating Jews. Somebody that is not, you know, looking at the picture clearly and seeing what's happened with this Hamas war and is high-fiving what just happened isn't really a Jew.
And there's this, you're right. There's this thing now that is become mainstream that if someone's a Zionist, that's like a bad thing. Like if you're, what does that mean? You're a Jew for Israel? That's a bad thing? I don't understand. All right, Dr. Lemaski, it's good to hear from you. I'll give you the last word.
Babe, you take care. I was just saying, no, Zionism just means that the Israelites and Jews have a right to exist.
Exactly.
Zionism.
Yeah. You know who the big ant that... All right, take care.
Good voice, Doc.
Take care. You guys, too. Stay upbeat. Try and stay positive. I know it's hard, but just do it. You can do it.
Okay. All right, take care. Take care. All right, there's one opening on the board where Dr. Lemaski was at. Okay, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jay from Jersey.
Hey, Jay.
I'm going to take your feelings into consideration this morning, but I was calling to speak about you were saying about the jurors. You said none of the jurors came forth and talked after the trial. I'm wondering if you realize, well, no, you don't realize why they didn't. I'm going to say why I feel they didn't come forth yesterday.
Yeah, maybe if you keep... I like how he's talking slow and drawing out the words for added effect. Go ahead, say what's on your mind. Stop you doing... You're not Morgan Freeman. Can you stop with the narration and just spit it out?
Yeah, well, see, I'm trying not to high five right now. That's what I'm trying.
Yeah, so you're being fake.
I'm being fake.
Yeah, see? Yeah, there he goes. Okay, here comes, now the venom's starting to come out. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah. The reason that they didn't come out and talk after the trial is because y'all are savages. You're going to destroy their lives. You're going to threaten their kids. House. They're going to have...
No, excuse me. You mean that's what the Democrats do? You mean like when the Democrats go to the houses of the Supreme Court justices?
Excuse me?
That's what Democrats do, not Republicans.
That's what anybody who goes against Trump does.
No.
Family.
No, they don't. Who has had their family gone after by the Republicans for Trump?
What?
Huh? What? Huh? What? What? I'll ask it again to give you more time. I'll ask you again, even though you heard the first time, to give you more time to think of an answer. Who has had their family threatened by Trump supporters?
Every single.
Name one. Name one. Name one. Because you can't do it. Oh, my gosh. What a jerk. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
PJ from Broward.
Hey, PJ.
Hey,
I can tell. PJ did the hangover from the cruise finally wear off? I haven't heard from you since the cruise.
well, no, actually, I was starving myself out because I had a medical appointment. And so, but anyway, listen, you know what's interesting here is that with all the celebration by the liberals, they really let their guard down, and Politico made an amazing, finally they admitted what we all know. They're talking about Alvin Bragg. This from yesterday, hours after the verdict. It says here, Bragg had campaigned on a promise to take on Trump. That was enough to win a competitive primary 3 years ago. So they're finally admitting it. It's entirely political. It's right there. They couldn't help themselves.
Can you send me that story? Can you DM it or text it to me, if you don't mind?
No problem.
Yeah, text it.
You got to go down a little ways. Just it's like it's a story about it's about will Trump verdict hurt him.
Yeah.
So anyway, you gotta scroll down. You'll find it.
Yeah, text it to me and I'll scroll down. You text it to me on my phone and I'll read it.
Yeah. Okay. And now I have a question for you, and Steve. When the Supreme Court, but I think when they rule on presidential immunity, how is that going to? How will that affect this case?
Well, remember, this was before he was president. This Stormy Daniels stuff was before he was president, they said, right?
Weren't the actual supposed payments made in early 2017?
That's what too. Yeah, I know. There's some crossover there. Yeah, that's a good question. Good question.
So what's the answer?
I don't. Well, they seem to make up the laws as on their own. Who knows? This is the thing. We only have a minute left, but PJ, think about it. Let's just say the Supreme Court came out at noon today. They're not, but let's say they did. If the Supreme Court comes out before the sentencing and tosses the whole thing out, do you think that would stop the judge from sentencing him next month still? I think he'd still do it.
Yeah, but
this his daughter took the money.
Yeah. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. That's what this is.
Not that the sentencing would mean anything, but I think he'd still do it.
Yeah. That guy's a mental case. Well, I don't know. You know what?
A mental case? He's corrupt. Listen, I got to run, PJ, but you asked a very good question. Very good question. All right, there's one opening on the board where PJ was at. Steve is here. I'm Brian. Our number 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Great calls today, I must say. Incredible calls today, for the most part. Not true of Jay or Renee. We'll be right back.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and Hurry Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the All-Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you're off to an awesome start. We're going to see highs today actually in the...
Well, if you're new, make sure you subscribe. I will be doing updates throughout the weekend. I'll be doing live streams throughout the weekend on YouTube, some with calls, some without calls, talking about the case, and podcast as well. There'll be new podcasts over the weekend as well. And I definitely, after Trump addresses the nation, I'll be coming on and giving thoughts on that. So make sure you're subscribed and you got the notification bell clicked, guys. So you'll get a notification when I go live. Carol Baskin for VP. Would you trust Carol Baskin? Every line is now lit. LLG, thank you very much. Thank you.
And his co-host, Dwayne Adams. RVM, Saturday mornings, 10 a.m., right here on the True Oldies channel.
Hi, it's Brian Craig. Let me ask you this. Are you planning on retiring in the next 6
We're back
months,
after this,
12
guys.
months, 2 years, at any point in your life? Or are you already retired? Listen, economically, it's a mess. With the stock market up,
I follow Paul. Welcome, welcome.
in fact, it's the highest inflation rate in 40 years. You need a plan of action for your retirement plans. You need the advice of a retirement expert who can help you protect your money, guarantee your income, and stop losing money. Joe Thomas is president of Retirement Network Advisors, South Florida's premier retirement experts, and has been for over 20 years. He's seen it all and is a true professional that you can trust. They're family owned and operated. His daughter Jenny works with him. You know Joe and Jenny from right here on True Oldies. He's the host of the Jupiter Joe Money Show, and he's been doing that for over a decade. Read Jupiter Joe's book, The Retirement Know-It-All. Mention my name, Brian Craig, and receive a free copy of his ebook. Go to jupiterjoe.com or call 561-743-0999. That's 561-743-0999. Take advantage of his free phone consultation, too. Go to jupiterjoe.com or call 561-743-0999.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane.
All right, we're back. Every line on the board is lit. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. This is the Steve Kane Show. Listen to this, Steve. Before we go back to the phones, you know how the corrupt judge, his daughter's raising all that money and everything else from Democrats about putting Trump in prison. Laura Loomer yesterday was on Steve Bannon's program, and she broke some major news because this was before the verdicts. So because of the verdicts, it's kind of been lost. But she broke something really big about the corruption of this judge. The most sought-after seats in New York City are the Trump trial seats, more than any Broadway show since forever. And do you know that the judge has been allowing the daughter to bring in her fundraising clients into the courtroom daily? She's been bringing her fundraising clients into his courtroom, and he's been allowing it. I mean, you know, has there ever been more evidence of a corrupt judge than this? Well, he's or just he's fearless. Or maybe they pay so much money, it's worth the risk to him. I don't know. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? LOG, thanks. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Sam from Miami.
Hey, Sam.
Hey, to answer your question that you asked Jay, the crazy right-winger, that MAGA guy that rode around the van with all the Trump stupid stickers on his van that sent pipe bombs, sent threatening letters and stuff to all the Democrats.
What? First off, you have an honor that very few people have achieved, Taliban Pat.
Hey, how you doing?
And that is a lifetime ban of calling the Steve Kane Show. Yeah, no, Steve, no. What he said about you and your wife and your sons. Well, he's gone. I got a full board of calls. He's gone already. I hung up on him. You're the one that banned him for life. See, I remember everything and voices. Why? When we got a full board of calls, you want to talk to that guy? All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike, Arkansas. You don't have to worry. Trump's going to be our next president. And
that's true.
He's going. And Democrats are right about one thing. He's going to end democracy. And that's a...
Okay, all right. Okay. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, boy.
All right, once, twice. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Richard Pompano.
Hey, Richard.
Okay, just want you to know I've been bouncing around from Newsmax and Fox, and I finally heard the speaker talk. Can you hear me, or?
Yeah, Mike Johnson you're talking about?
No, I don't even know. All I know, I've been waiting all morning to catch someone who's a specialist regarding the appellate court. And he was saying this, the appellate court are like gods. They're in no rush to do anything. They take the cases as they come in. They're not going to stop another one. The Supreme Court can, if they feel there's a civil problem, violence, or can break in when they want. But he said the appellate court won't even touch this for 6 months. So I'm upset over that.
Now, first off, I want to tell you, okay, that may or may not be true, but I've mentioned this many times and even a couple times today. I have no interest in hearing legal analysis from these TV lawyers unless it involves the Supreme Court. And the reason that is
Involve the Supreme Court.
Well, no.
The final word on this is going to be determined by the Supreme Court.
Or the American people in November. But this legal analysis of the appeals court and this court and that court, other than is a waste of time because they're making up their own laws and constitutional amendments as they go. All right. So how can you give a legal analysis to an illegal thing to crime? It's just a way for the TV to kill time. The only thing that's important right now is Trump's press conference other than this program, of course. Trump's press conference at 11 in the Supreme Court. Everything else is noise.
But that's a lot.
No, but people talking about the appeals court or this judge.
Let me ask you a question. You just want to get down and feel bad.
No, I'm talking about what's happening.
Let me ask you, if you want to talk about what's happening, who is going to determine when and if this goes to the Supreme Court?
The Supreme Court will decide.
Correct. So, why are you so hopeless?
Steve, listen, I'm not hopeless, but I'm dealing with what's going on.
And you're deciding what the Supreme Court's going to do when we don't know what the Supreme Court's going to do. Do we? Yes. We can.
Yeah.
Educated guess.
Yeah.
So why are you taking out the razor blades?
I'm not. I'm discussing what's going on now. Listen, in the future, we're all going to be in the paradise of heaven. So why worry about anything? Why wear a seatbelt in your car?
Now it's all going on now. This is part of the Supreme Court. The process involves the Supreme Court, and.
But we're not there yet, Steve. We're not there yet.
Well, I'm sorry, we're not there yet, but.
So what do you want to do between now and then? Just twiddle our thumbs and talk to Doug about his homeowner's insurance? I don't understand. What do you want to do between now and then? Well, no, I understand. I don't understand what you're saying.
So deal with reality.
I think you're in a denial about the situation. See, this is what I think. Okay, I think we can make a safe guess. I think it's a safe guess that the Supreme Court will rule against this judge. Okay, on a variety of things. Okay. The statute of limitations is up on these charges. Also, and these are also federal charges in a state court that doesn't have jurisdiction. You know, these types of things. They'll toss it out.
What do you mean the Supreme Court doesn't have jurisdiction?
No, they have jurisdiction over everything. No, I said that. No. I said one of the things that the Supreme Court would throw this case out on involves the fact that these are federal charges that Trump was convicted of yesterday in a state court. State courts do not have jurisdiction over federal law. So just on that alone, the Supreme Court will toss this out. Okay? So, you know, I'm confident in the Supreme Court, but we are not there yet. And let me tell you, the sentencing is 4 days before the convention. And these never-Trumpers, the Bushes and the Nikki Haleys, are plotting. And, Nikki Haley was signing bombs over there in Israel. She's still running. And in their mind, they're plotting a brokered convention and nominating Nikki Haley for president instead of Trump because they think he's going to have a 20-year prison sentence 4 days before the convention. It's not likely to happen, but it doesn't mean they're not moving to do it. They're making moves to do it.
Best to try to.
Well, I don't know how. I don't know. I'm fine. I'm fine. All right. I forgot about you, Call. Anything else before we move on?
No, I'm just trying to cope with all this, and I'm having a rough time.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's the weekend, and you can always start drinking. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Steve from Chicago.
Hey, Chicago.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, I'm with Steve on this, man. I'm so happy. Don't worry, it's going to be great. I know you know, Ryan, that it's going to be a good thing. You were mentioning Chapo and all these other things, Martin Luther King, and I know you know this, but just be happy. I'm excited. You know what the most exciting thing was? Ann Coulter saying they just gave Trump the election.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what's going on. Everybody's happy about this.
I don't know. Did Trump look happy? When Trump came out of the courtroom yesterday, did he look happy?
No, of course not.
He looks a lot happier than you.
You don't know how I look? I'm not, listen, I'm not worried about the final outcome. But we're not there yet.
But this is what Trump does for the people. He's right. This is a bad time for America. That America, America's like this.
All right.
Unfortunately, and another thing, Kathy, don't tell her. She knows the Bible. I mean, she knows the Bible. I mean, come on.
Well, then you shouldn't be. Then if listen, if that's your logic, you don't worry about anything. Everything's going to be fine, right? So you don't wear seatbelts, you don't take medication or anything else because in the end you're going to be in. That's denial talking. I mean, you're trying to convince yourself that things are okay in this country and they're not.
So things are off.
Steve, well, we're being invaded by millions of people nonstop, every second of every day. Now, listen, we're going to take our first break of the final hour. There's one opening on the board where Chicago was at. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Ryan. I just want to say thank you for Dr. Appleton because I'm from Orlando. It took 3 hours to go down there. It took my 90-year-old mom. My mom walked straighter than she ever walked in her life. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being such a willing vessel to talk about Dr. Appleton.
That's amazing. So you heard me in Orlando talking about Dr. Appleton and drove to South Florida with your mother to see him.
Yeah, my mom is awesome now. Awesome. No more arthritis, no more pills, none of that. She's going back to New York. She sits on the train for 24 hours. And I'm telling you, no pain. She gets off that train, and my sister says she walks like a young woman.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Call Dr. Appleton and say bye-bye to your pain, too. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Online, AppletonCairo.com.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business for 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Hey, grab your flip-flops and get
Yeah, Taliban Pat was surprised I remembered him.
Use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout for huge savings on MyPillow products. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale, 6.
All right, we are back. Every line on the board is lit. Yeah.
So I've been very rough on you this morning, and I want to apologize for that. I just realized something. In the reality you have created for yourself, you don't even think Trump's going to be the candidate.
What are you talking about?
Just said.
That's not what I said.
Well, you said that
You're hearing things. I said that the... Yes. Well, why worry about anything? Why even do the show, Steve? Let me just come on and do the spots and sign off and get home at 6:15. Steve, what I... well, not according to you, no, because we're just supposed to say, don't worry, it's all okay, it's all okay, don't worry, we'll be back, you know. Let me tell you what I said. Of course he's going to be the nominee. But that doesn't mean that they're trying to stop that from happening. And the Bushes and the Paul Ryans and the Karl Roves are working with that Nikki Haley. She's still campaigning. And the
going to be Secretary of State.
Who said that?
My comment.
No. Nikki Haley is still campaigning. The sentencing is 4 days before the Republican convention. That's not an accident. They're the never Trumpers in the Republican Party, the Bushes, Paul Ryans, Nikki Haley's, Mitt Romney's, are going to try. They're trying to position things to take the nomination from him and give it to Nikki Haley.
You're saying more than that. You're saying you believe they're going to prevail.
No, I did not. You just are saying that. I didn't say that. I don't think they're going to prevail.
Why are you so down?
I'm not down. I'm just talking about what's going on.
Okay. I'm glad, man. Glad we got that out to the audience.
I think everybody understood exactly what I said except you. I don't, you know. Now, all right. Now, I was going to do a spot, but we don't have time now. No, take a call first. I will do it going into the break. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Joellen from Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Joellen.
I said the same thing yesterday. I said, I wonder, there's got to be some joy to Nikki Haley and even DeSantis to this.
Yeah, why do you think Nikki Haley is off in Israel signing bombs the other day? She's campaigning.
Hold on, let me ask you a question. Hold on, so you think Nikki Haley's going to be the candidate?
Steve, I don't understand. Hold on, Steve. I don't understand you this morning. We're not saying they're going to be successful. We're talking about what they're scheming to do, and we're exposing them. They're obvious. Nikki Haley's in Israel signing bombs. She's campaigning. They think they can come in at the convention that this judge is going to give Trump 20 years, and they're going to plug in Nikki Haley. They think they're going to do that.
We, you and I and the caller, we know better, right?
Yeah, Trump's going to win.
All right.
So what are you suggesting? That we don't talk about anything? You want to talk about the De Niro movies again? I don't know. What do you want to do?
That's the first time. By the way, did you see the movie?
No, it sounds boring. I've got more important things than to watch movies right now, Steve. Our country's falling apart. I can't go watch movies of De Niro from 81.
Country's falling apart, I think.
All right. Okay.
In the meantime,
when this is over, the system is going to work.
Steve, Biden's brought how many millions of illegals into this country in the last 3.5 years?
Take care of that.
Oh, okay. This is very frustrating.
Yes. In the meantime, yes, Karl Rove and those people, they're not going to just sit back. If they see an opportunity to get Haley in there, then they're going to do it. I've heard Karl Rove. They are not going to sit back. I'm not saying they're going to be successful like Brian said, but definitely they're going to try it because they see an opportunity. So that is definitely, I think, what they maybe.
The only thing, Nikki, we didn't say it's going to happen, Steve, but we talked about. No, I'm getting so frustrated with you this morning, Steve. Because I don't know if you're trying to. I don't know if you're trying to aggravate me. No, I don't know if you're purposely acting like this. We got a call now, and you're saying that things are being said that aren't being said.
This caller agrees with you. All right. So let's.
Wait, what? Oh my goodness.
The thing is, Steve, I mean, you have to talk about it because, you can't.
See, Steve wants to live in denial. Everything's going to be fine.
I want to talk about it realistically.
We are. See, Steve, the reason they're not being successful is because people like us are shedding a light on this, and like cockroaches, they run for the crevices. If we all sit back and don't talk about it like you, then yeah. Why worry? Everything's going to be fine.
You know what?
I think it's going to end well.
Okay, well, good. Keep thinking like
really. And Steve, even when he's president again, you think they're going to lay off? Are you kidding?
They're always going to be there.
They're
not going to win.
What worries me is if the Democrats ever get back in, the way that things are today is taking your shows. They've been trying to do that ever since.
Oh, please. It's not going to happen. Don't worry about that. That's one thing you never have to worry about. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. Now, I want to ask you this question. This is a very important question, and it may be the most important question I ask of this audience today. Do you or someone you know suffer from neuropathy? If you do, I don't have to tell you how bad it is. Neuropathy is living torture. You know, when they were doing all that waterboarding at Gitmo and all that, if they would have just given those Al-Qaeda neuropathy, they would have all sung like canaries, and it would have been over. They would have told us where bin Laden was on a diet. It's that bad. It really is torture. And your doctors will tell you that there's no treatment for neuropathy, that you've just got to learn to live with it. That is not true. Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano not only has a neuropathy treatment, they have an effective treatment that works. It's worked on Steve Kane and many people in this audience. A couple months back, we were over at Wings Plus meeting some people in our audience, and a guy came up. He was almost in tears because he wouldn't have been able to come, he said, because he had neuropathy. Couldn't get out of bed, and he was at Wings Plus. You wouldn't have even known the guy had a health issue because he went to Lighthouse Medical, and they rid him of his neuropathy. Give them a call. I'm going to give you the number. When you call, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show, Because if you do, you get the no-charge consultation. The number is 754-222-6642. 954-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. We'll be right back.
Morning radio great again. I think you're going to really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the all-year cooling weather center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you're off to an awesome start. We're going to see highs today actually in the upper 80s. A little break as the weak front is getting through here. And it looks like just an isolated chance of a shower. I'm going to use the exercise this morning. Meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Southbound 95, stop go delays from Lantana past Point Beach Boulevard, northbound slow past Belvedere Road. Turnpike northbound delays from Lake Worth Road past Southern Boulevard. This traffic update is sponsored by Lowe's. Savings, now that's speaking the Lowe's language. And with My Lowe's Rewards, your savings just keep coming with member-only offers. Learn more about their new loyalty program at Lowes.com/MyLowe'sRewards. Subject to terms and conditions, see Lowes.com/terms for details. That's traffic. I'm Dory Don.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. PBKC is Palm Beach County's only OTB location featuring exciting action from top horse tracks around the country, including thoroughbred action from New York, Kentucky, and California. And the Paddock Restaurant offers the ultimate sports and dining experience with over 140 new HD TVs, big screens, exceptional dining, and full bar. PBKC is your entertainment destination. Go to pbkennelclub.com.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling?
420, can you, before you join the chat, can you not get high? I've seen some of your comments, and you sound like a stoned out moron.
Absolutely the best. I wasn't able to drink coffee for years, and I tried it, and now I can drink the coffee with no problem whatsoever. It's absolutely delicious. The flavor is like a tastier flavor than regular coffee. I'm telling you, I don't get stomach aches. I don't get anything. I'm so happy with it, and I think that you ought to mention it. I think it's important, especially for older people.
Mike Lindell says that his coffee, the My Coffee, which is 50% off with our promo code Kane, and check out KANE at mypillow.com, it's the best tasting coffee you've ever had.
Absolutely true. I have tried over the years other coffees, and nothing comes near his, and that really is the truth.
50% off with our promo code Kane, and check out KANE at mypillow.com.
Get ready for summer reading. Come to the June 8th summer reading kickoff party from 9 a.m. to noon at the Spanish River Library in Boca Raton. To kick off the library's annual summer reading party that the Friends of Boca Raton Public Library have sponsored for over 20 years. Visit the Friends table to win prizes throughout the event. The Friends run a bookstore of quality used books at discount prices in the lobby of the downtown Boca Raton Public Library. Sales proceeds help them to fund other fabulous programs at the library. Donate on their website, bocalibraryfriends.org/library, or shop in their bookstore. Learn more, bocalibraryfriends.org.
Brian Craig here with a question for seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to a healthcare advocate at the touch of a button? Would that make life easier for you? You can with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will help you set up doctor's appointments, help with your pharmacy, even deal with your pharmacist to make sure that you have your prescriptions. They'll help you find a doctor, including a specialist. If you've been billed improperly by a doctor's office or a hospital, they can help you with that too. They'll even be your advocate when you're in the hospital to make sure you get the care you need and the care you deserve. And that's just the beginning of what they do. I Will Advocates takes care of all Steve Kane's healthcare issues too, and they can do the same for you. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Call Debbie at I Will Advocates right now. Toll free 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326.
To celebrate all my special occasions, Cafe Chardonnay is the place that I choose, but I'll let you in on a little secret. Dining at Cafe Chardonnay turns any ordinary evening into a special occasion. For over 30 years, owners Frank and Gigi have created a restaurant with a unique atmosphere, elegant yet warm and friendly. Cafe Chardonnay features today's freshest local farm produce and seafood just caught from the ocean. Cafe Chardonnay partners with nearby farmers, ranchers, and fishermen to provide the highest quality ingredients, and Chef Frank's talent combines these fresh ingredients to create delicious, novel, exciting dishes.
Make every evening a celebration at Cafe
All right, we're coming back.
Located in Palm Beach Gardens on the corner of PGA Boulevard and Military Trail. Call 561-627-2662. 561-627-2662. Online at cafechardonnay.com.
And be sure to enjoy a glass of wine from Cafe Chardonnay's legendary wine cellar.
Now, back to the
All right, every line on the board is lit. The exact opposite of the Kaufman show, where every line on the board is open. Before I like doing it the other way, but I didn't think about taking the jab until I already said every line was lit. Don't forget, Steve, today, 11 a.m. Eastern, President Trump will be addressing the nation. And you notice how Biden changed his mind about addressing the nation after the verdict. I guess he realized that the American people on Trump's side, the victory lap wasn't a good idea.
One of the few smart things he's done.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to our very busy phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, IB.
Yes.
Hey, IB. Yeah, it's a sad day in America. But it also paints a beautiful picture, okay? Who are the puppet masters? I haven't used the term play on words in a while. Okay? This is play on words on steroids. Not only that they're doing it in the wrong court. They take something that's supposed to be old, can't use. The funds was never commingled. If it was even campaign money, why would it be in Trump's accounts to pay out employees? It would have had to come from a separate account, meaning the campaign funding from the RNC supposedly. So there is no cross-contamination there. It's played on words once again, just like jury instructions. This is all they have. But what's behind it? Who makes them do what they do? The societies behind these people that make them to spend all this money in Congress, who are they? Well, this will be the third time I'm telling you, Brian. Barack and Bush share a bloodline.
Yeah.
Been in England recently, okay? That's a whole other story. However, war is necessary, and they treat our people, Richie is right, like toy soldiers. Ever since I was a kid, you had those little green soldiers, and I never had all of them. I always thought the government used people like toy soldiers, meaning that everyone died in Vietnam for nothing, in the Korean War for nothing, in World War II for nothing, okay? They died for nothing in the end, because if I hear the word democracy come out of a Democrat mouth again, when clearly on display, they destroyed democracy. So
well, you make some good points, IB. Are you calling us from Parrot Jungle in Miami? I mean, those birds are driving me nuts.
Yeah,
or a bad axle. All right, appreciate the call. All right, somebody in the background thought it was funny. They were laughing. I heard a little chuckle. Sounded like a female voice with IB. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Patrick calling from Broward.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey, Pat.
Honestly, the most depressing part of yesterday was realizing that about a third of the country, including two of my closest friends, was celebrating the verdict as if it was the greatest thing that ever happened. Like,
I'm so sorry for your friends.
I want to tell them, like, are you comfortable being subjected to this same system of so-called justice, like next Tuesday? The next time you do anything to piss off the ruling class, you can go to jail.
Yes.
For up to 136 years.
Yeah, like the Soviet Union.
This is basically, I am at a loss. I'm still at a loss to explain how an unproven, expired misdemeanor, at worst a paperwork snafu, turns into 34 felonies that no one can even define.
Yeah.
And it's like jaywalking in front of a bank and getting indicted on 34 counts.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Caller, who do you think is going to be the Republican candidate?
Lord willing, Trump, but knowing the RNC, God only knows. I wouldn't. I have
Give
no
me a
clue what's going
straight
to happen.
answer. If you had to a $3,000 bet on picking the winner of the Republican Party primary, who do you think the candidate is going to be?
Donald Trump, but you never know.
Right, so why are you depressed?
What?
Depressed?
But I'm going to exhale on July.
Let me tell you what, Steve. Hold on a second. Remember, Heather Has Two Mommies back in the 90s. Okay, now for those that don't, Heather Has Two Mommies was a children's book. It was very controversial. It was about a girl with two lesbian moms. There's a new book that just came out, Daddy's Belly, about a pregnant dad. And what happens, Steve, is they do. Yeah.
Come full circle to that meaning.
Well, I think people in the audience already know. I don't even have, but I'll finish it. No, I think it. What these leftists do is they start with something small and outrageous, and they lose, but they gain a little ground. Okay, a third of the country are high-fiving right now, and things get worse. Then all of a sudden, we got books in the public schools about pregnant dads. And with this, there's a slippery slope, Steve, and they may not win in the end on this one, but in 15 years or 5 years, they may. You understand?
That's my concern. I'm not going to even start to exhale until January 20th, 2025, when Trump is Republican control both houses of Congress. But even then, like you say, the Supreme Court could. If the Supreme Court overturns this ruling at noon today, it's not going to change the minds of anyone who believes he deserves 34 felony convictions in some cosmic sense of the word, as if that's the way the American justice system is supposed to work. I don't think that system is sustainable where you have one-third of the electorate believes that the President of the United States is mathematically 7 times worse than Al Capone.
So what are you saying? That you're depressed because there are always going to be liberals?
Well, you want to
that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing.
I don't think we've had in the past few decades a system. In like decades past, I don't think we've had a system where basically 1/3 of the country believes the President of the United States is Hitler. Like I say, mathematically now, legally, 7 times worse than Al Capone somehow, in spite of the fact that no one can define what the felony is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm right. So I'm hearing you right. You're depressed because you realize there are always going to be liberals out there.
Well, it's not so much liberals as people who believe, who kind of can get behind a ruling like this, not realizing it can be turned on them.
Listen, we've heard from a lot of liberal callers today on the program. They're all stupid. They think this is a good thing. They're so liberal people are so short-sighted and stupid. They don't understand how serious this is, and that's a problem. That's a problem.
One day you're cheering, looking up at the cheering him on. The next day,
so you're not going to be happy till all the liberals are gone.
The solution will be
people like them.
No, the solution will be when in Trump's second term, when all these criminals like the judges are arrested and charged. My goodness. You hear Fannie Willis is paying her gigolo.
Oh, that you want to arrest
the judge. The judge.
Liberals?
No, the judge. In New York, the judge in New York needs to be arrested.
I'm still behind. Trump has commented on this. I think he has bigger fish to fry. As horrific as this is, I think if he takes power and he has both houses of Congress behind him, I think the best we can do is hope to expose how corrupt this was in general. Trump in his first term declined to prosecute Hillary Clinton because he thought it'd be bad for the country. I'm not saying these people don't deserve it, but I don't want to slip down that slope where we say, oh, well, we can't prove that this person committed a crime, but we'll send him to jail anyway. I think extremely bad precedents for the country.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, very, very good call. Thank you so much. One of the more reasonable callers of the day. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi there.
Yes?
Hi, Peter from Down Under.
Peter from Australia. Okay, what's up, Peter? Calling us from Australia.
Well, I've got a few notes because I just rambled last time. But firstly, the fellow a few calls back, Steve, I think really we should tell him he needs to stop being complacent. We all really need to stop being complacent. I know I'm out here in Australia.
Stop being what?
Complacent. You know...
That's the Steve that was on the phone.
What do you mean?
Yeah, because he was saying, what can we do? It's all going to work out all right. Let's just let it run.
See, this guy here is calling us from Australia. They're about 20 years ahead of us. Okay, in Australia.
So what? So do you think that? Who do you think is going to be the Republican candidate?
That's short-sighted, Steve.
Well, I was thinking it was going to be Trump, but with what Ron was mentioning earlier, we wonder whether they might play games with that.
See, Steve, this guy here on the phone's calling from Australia. He's a conservative in Australia. In Australia, they've confiscated all the guns and taken away your rights of free speech. They're about 15, 20 years ahead of us. They're living in the liberal paradise down there. So he understands where these things are going. This is beyond Trump. With the damage that was done yesterday is beyond the era of Trump. He's only got one term left. This is the beginning of some bad stuff if this lawfare is allowed to go unpunished. Overruling the judge doesn't do it. That.
All right. What's the punishment?
This judge should probably go to prison.
For
possibly bribery.
Who do you think?
Steve, I can't go over the last 6 months of shows with you. The 10 million, the Democrats that have been giving the daughter millions of dollars. By the way, thanks for.
So you want to put the Democrat?
No, I want the judge, Fannie. Absolutely. If his daughters if he's getting bribes through the daughter, absolutely. Absolutely. Now listen, I want to tell you all before we break, Steve, if the daughter's taken $100 million from Democrats on the promise of putting Trump in jail, and her dad is sentencing him 4 days before the convention in July.
And you believe that Trump is going to go to jail?
No, I didn't. I didn't say Trump's going to jail. I didn't say that.
Are you upset?
The judge is going to sentence him to jail. The judge is going to sentence him to jail in July. You don't think the judge is going to...
To jail?
No, but the judge is going to sentence him to jail.
Well, if he's sentenced to jail, why wouldn't he go to jail?
Well, because he was the president of the United States. It's not just some regular guy. All right, listen. We're going to take our last break and be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9.
All right, and it's time for the final... it's time for the final gold report of the week. On the line, from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated, we have William Youngerman. William Youngerman, how are the metals ending up the week? William, you with us? I'm sorry about that. I mean, I'll ask you. I'm sorry, we have some technical issues today. How are the metals finishing up the week?
Very strong, looking good. Yesterday we saw gains $5.70 on gold, closing at $2,342.60 the ounce. Silver was down 78 cents, though, giving our silver buyers an opportunity, down to closing at $31.11. Platinum was down $9 at $1,026, and palladium closed down $12 at $932. This morning we've got a nice little rally going on gold. Up $7.80 right now at $2,350.40 the ounce. Silver up 32 cents at $31.43. Platinum up $13 at $1,039, and palladium down $2 at $930 the ounce. So the market's very strong, still looking very good, and like I've been saying all along, any kind of dips you can buy on, that's a great opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, yesterday you were telling us about the amazing bargains on pre-33 gold, but what when it comes to gold and silver, outside of those beautiful pre-33 gold coins, what are some of the best buys in silver and gold right now?
Silver, just about everything. 100-ounce bars are great value. 10-ounce bars, kilo bars. We have all these silver bars at very good or low premiums, and as well as some of the national different coins from around the world in the smaller denominations. And the 1-ounce rounds are priced very reasonable.
Yeah.
Silver is a great value. Gold, we still love the kangaroo products and the 1-ounce gold bars and 10-ounce gold bars for larger buyers.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now let me ask you, in the gold bars, the 1-ounce gold bars, with the gold, do they all come in those plastic containers, or do some of them not? And how does that work?
Don't come in. Most of all the ones we sell are what we call carded. So they have the card that they're placed in, and they're that way they have the little certificate with it and everything. The coins that we like, of course, are the kangaroos, which are great value and beautifully encapsulated to protect those 999 pure gold coins.
Yeah, absolutely. So great deals on all the metals. And William Youngman opens up at 10 a.m. He's located in Boca Raton at 150 East Palmetto Park Road, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto, on the first floor of the Bank of America building. And when you go into the building, William Youngerman's shop is in the lobby, right across from the bank's lobby. You can give him a call, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010, and online, williamyoungerman.com. And at williamyoungerman.com, you can find both the phone number and the address if you missed it. All right, William Youngerman, great time for the metals. We'll talk on Monday.
Okay, have a great weekend. Thanks.
All right, back after this. Okay,
Give your family, are you having a midday crash?
Oh, no, you can do that. That's fine.
Women, are menopause symptoms like hot flashes, anxiety, and depression making your daily life feel far more difficult than it should? Men, do you feel like you are aging far beyond what you should? Is your sexual life and relationship suffering because of disappointments in the bedroom? Then take action and let our medical team at Lighthouse Medical Center help you stop the symptoms that are holding you back. We use all-natural hormone optimization therapies with precision technology to help solve your problematic symptoms. Our family-owned practice has had the honor of serving our South Florida community for over 71 years. Call us right now and let our medical team get you optimized and feeling the way that you should. Life is too short to be running at less than 100%. You and your family deserve the best version of you. Call us at 754-222-6642 or visit us at lighthousemedicalcenter.com to schedule your consultation today.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian Steve Kane here. Every line on the board is lit. Or an injustice in America. Yeah.
Trump's on 11 o'clock today, is that?
Yeah, that's right, Eastern Time.
Address the public. When he gets on, you think he's going to be depressed?
Who said I'm depressed? You keep saying that. I'm not depressed.
That Trump's going to lose the nomination?
Steve, who are you talking to? Do you got another show going on? I've never said that. I've said the opposite 20 times. I didn't say anything like that. I'm worried about our country. Oh, Steve, let me just take the calls. I'm getting very frustrated. I've explained this to you because I've explained this to you 10 times. I'm not worried for Trump. He's going to win. I'm not depressed. I'm not. I don't know. Is there another show going on that I'm not a part of? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Ricky from North Carolina.
Hey, Ricky.
Okay, Ricky. So can you explain this to Brian?
Well, sure. I mean, actually, I don't think Brian said anything negative, he's not worried.
No, Steve's hallucinating and making stuff up. I didn't say any of those things you said, Steve. None of it.
think Steve, I think you're misunderstanding him. Like, I think I understand him. He's pretty much saying, like, even though Donald Trump...
Let's just take the call, Steve. I don't need to... I've explained it. I don't want to keep explaining it. We only got 8 minutes left.
Even though he's saying, even though President Trump's going to be the nominee, like, we as Americans should have our...
I mean, okay, let me explain why I'm concerned, okay? We're adults. People that are under 30 in this country, okay, they don't teach them social studies or civics anymore. They don't learn about the Bill of Rights. They know nothing about our system of government, okay? Millions of them are illegals that have been brought here that don't even speak the English. So when things like this happen, it becomes like normal to them, and they don't understand how the system works. So the system is whatever is being presented to them by the left. And 10, 15, 20 years or more out from today, this will be normal to them. They don't understand. That's the reason I'm concerned. Trump's going to win the nomination. He's going to win the presidency, but this goes beyond Trump's second term, the problem that we're dealing with right now. I'm not talking about the immediate issue with Trump. I'm talking about the long-term conditioning of a huge chunk of the population that just don't understand the American system of government or justice, that thinks this is okay.
Please bear with me. Don't be, I hate when you get angry at me. But I'm just trying to say that I take the same facts that you just said, and I feel positive about them.
Okay.
Progress.
Okay.
When I go and I see all these people standing and cheering for Trump, and I see this sea of MAGA hats, and I can tell that America is finally waking up, and great things are going on.
Steve, they have brought Biden has brought millions of people into this country from South America, from third world banana republics, okay?
He's going to get rid of them.
When he wins.
Yes.
So what are you suggesting? How do you operate a show then, Steve? Hey, good morning. We're on the air. Everything's going to be okay. We'll see you tomorrow. I don't understand why you don't want to talk about what the hell's going on. Nobody can explain it to you, Steve, but we only have 7 minutes left. Can we stop explaining each other and just take the calls? I'm getting frustrated. All right, go ahead, caller. I got a
frustrated party.
I'm Ricky from North Carolina. And,
yeah, I heard all that.
He's opening up Friday or whatever. I just want to say that President Trump, I don't know if he ever listens real quick. But
of course he does.
Say to him, thank you, Mr. President, for your sacrifices. I'm not saying it's the end, but he could be sitting on a beach with a margarita, but instead he's fighting for our country.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And I just want to say thank you, Mr. Trump. You don't know me or anything like that, but I appreciate you sacrificing him.
All right. I appreciate the call. Yeah, Trump is the American Mandela. All right? All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian, and hi, Steve. It's Roz.
Hey, Roz. How are you?
Not good at all. Not good at all. I am so angry. I was crying. I wanted to go to President Trump and hug him. This judge should be disbarred and thrown in jail for life. You don't know how angry I am. I almost called the courthouse.
Well, don't. No. We've got to end that. Okay. Yeah, all right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Steve and Brian. It's JJ from Mass.
Hey.
Hey, JJ.
Hey, guys. Hey, Steve. Obviously, yesterday is a day that will go down in history for some horrible reasons, but I look at this as sort of, what stands in the way becomes the way, and that's a quote from Marcus Aurelius. The gist of it is, from this obstruction will come opportunities. This trial, to me, the charges and the juror instructions, I mean, they had higher security than the documents at Joe Biden's garage or Hillary's emails and stuff. There's confusion, corruption, and manipulation going all over the damn place. The judge, for Christ's sake, is selling box seats to the show in his courtroom.
That's literal. That's what I was talking about with Loomer. The judge has been allowing his daughter to bring these high-paying clients that's giving millions of dollars to his family into the courtroom every day. Loomer just broke this to Bannon yesterday.
34 counts of we really not quite sure. We'll get back to you. And the jury has found him guilty on it. They don't even know what the hell they found him guilty of. Nobody knows. I mean, it's like a special access program from the government. To me, the whole thing, it's like the Democrats and the rhinos and the deep state. They're all like, no offense to Canadians, but Canadian geese.
Yeah.
The bottom of the swamp. They make a lot of noise and flap their wings, and all they do is crap all over the lawn. And that this judge is doing, they're crapping all over the lawn of every American in this country. And it's got me infuriated. But I'll tell you what, come May 30th, 21-24, there will be a book in every classroom, and it will be the day America was saved and the deep state died. The most beloved and famous president, Donald John Trump.
That is correct.
President Trump, thank you for your sacrifice.
All right. Take care. All right. Everybody gets it, Steve. You can tell people that nobody gets it, but you and the caller. I don't understand what you're hearing. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning, Brian.
Yes.
This is Diane, and every time Hi, Steve. I agree with you. I'm still voting for Trump. I believe he will be in office. Now, Brian, every time I've ever called you, you talk about my attitude. You have called me the villainess. You told me I was trying to kill MAGA people because I was telling them to go.
Oh, it's all of. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. Everything's about you. Everything's about you. Yes.
You are so rude to Steve. Is this not your show? Is it not the Steve Kane show with Brian?
It's all of our show.
His attitude is childish.
Yeah. Yeah. Ridiculous.
Okay, I'm the villainous.
Well, yeah, you're the one that wanted people to go out and drive on Memorial Day with all the drunks. I remember you now.
Okay, yes.
Yes, exactly. She wanted all the MAGA people to drive with the drunks on the road on Memorial Day. Yes, I did. Trump people, we don't call ourselves Trumpers, okay? We're MAGA. If someone calls themselves a Trumper, typically they're not. Now, I want to tell you guys about MyPillow. Oh, my goodness. I slept like a baby last night. I got my MyPillow Mattress Topper 2.0, which is 40% off. I got my MyPillows 2.0, which are buy one, get one free. And I've got my MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets that have massive discounts on them right now. No matter what's going on in the world, I sleep like a baby each and every night, and you can too. When you use our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, you have huge discounts and deals at MyPillow.com and free shipping on all orders over $75. That's promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, at MyPillow.com. Now, we are out of time for today. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be back Monday morning at 6, and if you hang on over the weekend, you'll be first in line on Monday's show. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane has been here as well. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 47 years on the radio. Don't forget Trump Live, addressing the nation at 11 a.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. All right, everyone, have a great weekend. I'm Brian Steves here. We'll see you Monday morning at 6.
WSFS 104.3.
All right, guys, I got to run, but I'll be back over the weekend, all right? See you guys. Take care. If you're new, subscribe. If you're already subscribed, make sure you click the notification